Hello and welcome to Critically Drinking, where we strive to set a higher bar for conversation every single stream. Thank you for joining us. Now grab your drink, take your seat, and let us get ready for the show. Rashawn will be with you shortly to let you know what's on tap for the day.
Okay, I got caught slipping. Got caught slipping. What are you paying attention?
Can't be slipping.
Man, got caught slipping. But good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. Y'all already know what dime it is. And y'all see, I got another dime in the building. We got Candid Ann with us. How you feeling today?
I'm doing well, thank you. I'm a little sleepy, so if my voice is a little extra hoarse, keep in mind I just did 3 in a row, 12-hour shifts.
Ooh.
And I am, but I'm here. I'm here though. Don't let that throw you. I'm here.
No,
and I'm
got you.
I got a little something, right? So
Yeah.
Okay.
Got a little something. We got a little something to say for y'all. But good afternoon to everybody. Good day. If you're over in the UK, good night. I know Summer, she pops in. It's probably 11 o'clock over there at night. So hope everybody's doing well. Happy New Year to you. I don't think I've seen you all this year.
Yeah.
Happy New Year to everybody. I do want to say I really appreciate everything that happened in 2023. 2024 is going to be a lot different. So I've decided I'm just going to quit every stream. Every stream I'm quitting. Every stream. Right. I'm just that way at the end of the stream, I quit. That way, if I don't come back, I've kept my word. If I do come back, I do this all the time. So that's how we're going to do this. We're going to keep that run going all year long. But I do want to say again, thank you to all of y'all who participated in the channel in 2023. Now today we got my so-called life in the building. We are going to talk a little bit about financial fitness. It's Friday. People, 2023 was rough with them pockets.
Just got paid too, man. Some of y'all got paid.
Yeah, some of y'all just got paid. Now listen, I don't know about y'all, but I'm up here with a baddie. All right, she just bought 2 yachts. All right, she just bought a $5 million house in the south of France. All right, she just purchased. She just purchased her second Fortune 500 corporation.
Yeah.
Like, she is out here killing it. So we want to get Candid Ann's advice. I'm just saying, like right now, y'all see her. She's in a Manhattan penthouse right now. It's $14 million. I just want to let y'all know she is money bag, right here in the flesh. She's here to give us her financial advice. She's going to tell us what stocks to pick. She's going to give us the crypto. I'm joking.
None of that. Not one single thing. I don't know what you've been drinking. You've been smoking. You've been hanging with Yellow. You've been visiting.
No. But I do know that Candid Ann is financially fit. Like, she takes care of herself in the finances as well as, physically and all the other ways. She's very conscientious, dutiful. So Candid Ann takes care of herself. She wants to see more of us taking care of ourselves in all of the different ways too. She has been my inspiration to actually. I'm not a savings person, but this is the first time in my for a lot of y'all this might be embarrassing. Okay, but I'm admit it because it's just can't help anybody if it's not true. Can't help anybody if it's not true. I've always been a spender, like an avid spender. Like, if I have it, it needs to be spent. So this is the first time in my life where I've actually been able to sit on over $1,000.
Yes.
And that was to Candid Ann's inspiration. Now, a lot of y'all, that's nothing to y'all. But like to somebody that always spends everything that comes in, always living check to check. Man, it's so refreshing to be able to sit and hold something.
What's up, beautiful?
Yeah. Now, unfortunately, it's allocated. So be moving. So I know it's going to get spent, but it's like, it's better to know it's going to get spent than like be in a bind. Like, if I was moving and had nothing, I'd have to be looking to borrow, which would be terrible. What's up, Bree is in the building.
What's up, beautiful?
Don Frank is back.
What's up, Don Frank? Hey, beautiful. Enya. What's going on? Beautiful Dawn.
So I do.
He's sewing, right? He has a sewing channel because at SEW.
Yes, my so-called life.
The men so my dad came here in this country as a tailor. I'm not
Oh,
sure.
okay.
Yeah, that's how he ends up from Barbados to America. He was able to be sponsored because you had to have a skill in order for them to, in order
Ooh.
to, to get sponsored, in order for America to find you valuable while you're coming here, you had to have a trade. So my dad came here as a tailor. Yeah, yeah. So big up to the tailors and all the tradesmen and things like that. He's a mechanic now, but right, he did a big change, my dad, from a tailor to a
Yeah.
mechanic. But it's all right, there's a lot of ways to make money in America.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
one of the things we're going to talk about too. Because I know a lot of us. I hear this thing. I hear this thing repeated a lot, and I had to learn to get it out of my tongue. I had to learn to get this off of my lips.
What?
Good afternoon to Bravo with Sheila.
What's up, Miss Sheila?
Our channel's
Beautiful.
been steadily growing, so
Yes.
congratulations to all of your growth. Congratulations to all of your growth. What I had
Bravo.
to get off of my tongue was that there are no opportunities. I had to get rid of that because it's a lie. What I had to realize is I didn't want to do the work to take advantage of any of the opportunities. Like, it was me.
Whoa.
Yeah. Now, not all of the opportunities are attractive.
Yes.
That's something we have to admit, but there are plenty of opportunities to make money and to scale up and to level up. And so that's one of the things we're going to bring to the forefront. Show a couple of examples, because one of the things I always had a problem with, everybody's like, you can make all this money, and nobody gives you the steps. But there's Candid Ann's literally going to start you, show like an example where you can start from zero.
Yes.
Save your way to maybe 1,000, 1,500, or if you get something like your taxes are, W-2s about to come back. W-2s are about to come.
Ooh.
And with that $1,000, $2,000, you can actually start a money-making venture that can take care of you and your family. And it's not that it's as good. It's going to be as hard as the work you want to put into it. And if you want to put in hobby work, you can get hobby results. If you want to put in work, you can get employment type money.
Run this thing. You already know the answer.
I'm just saying. So.
Yeah, thank you, man. You're exactly right. Listen, I have so much to say about this topic, and I don't want to make it boring, right? Because and I don't want to make it long-winded either. But let me tell you, let me back up a little bit and tell you why some of this stuff is so important to me, and why I'm like, I stay on people about money, 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 money. I'm not on here telling you have multiple streams of income. Join my Patreon. You're gonna be a millionaire. Get real estate is where it's at. I'm not on here like that. What I'm trying to convey to people is that, like, with a little bit of planning, with a little bit of planning, you can be a bit more secure. You can do things that take a little stress off your life. Not a little, maybe even a lot. I'm not saying that life is not going to life. I'm not saying life is not going to happen. I'm just saying that you'll be better prepared. You won't have to be out here bending over backwards, begging and doing things, compromising yourself. If you're a woman, someone spoke about coochie coupons, you ain't got to spend them. Okay. So, why this is so important to me. There's been so many times in my life, right, where let me tell you a small quick story, right? There was one time I was dating a boy. It's always a nigga. I was dating a boy, and I had a toothache. This was years ago. I had a toothache, and I spoke about this on my channel years ago, and I had no money. I think I was, maybe at that time, I might have been like 20 years old or something like that.
Young.
Yeah, I was really young, and I was with this boy. My parents had recently divorced, so it was a chaotic situation, and I had a toothache. I didn't have any insurance, and I don't want to make it disgusting, but when I looked at my gum, there was pus on my gum, and I freaked out. So I had to go to the dentist, right? Long story short, I didn't have any money. So the dentist, he ain't about to do me no solid. Right? So he took me out of danger, but to make a long story short, I lost a tooth. And it was this tooth right here. So you can see that. You're like, but why is there a tooth there right now? And if you lost a tooth, why is there a tooth right there? That's an implant. Okay. Now, at this time, I was working at Pathmark on Bay Plaza at Co-op City in the Bronx, minimum wage. I didn't know, I was bawling out of control, bawling like, oh my God. Like when I smile, right? I had crooked teeth at that time. I didn't have braces. I had braces twice. But at this time, I still had crooked teeth. And now I'm missing a tooth on the side. Like when you smell this, my shit is missing. I'm like, this dentist, he don't owe me no favors. He could fix the problem for me, but he don't owe me nothing. I don't have any money. I don't have any insurance. It was a time where I felt like, damn, money isn't just for clothes and jewelry and all this other shit. Like, I have an infection in my gum. And then I lost the tooth because I couldn't pay, because it's cheaper to pull it, right, than to go fix
Yep.
a crown, do all these different things. So I was adamant that I'm going to find a way to fix my tooth. People were like, what are you talking about? What? I'm like, I don't know. They put a man on the moon. Someone going to put a tooth in my head. I was screaming out. Like, keep in mind, like my family's from the islands, not a lot of, they love me dearly, but not a lot of guidance in terms of something hurts in the islands, you take it out. Like there's no races. And now I'm sure there is, but keep in mind I'm 48 years old, right? So make a long story short, I was crushed. And it really made me realize that you have to, I still might not have been able to afford all the things for the dentist, right? But it just put in my mind that like money is for a lot of different reasons, not just for clothes and food and shelter, but like your health, your tooth. And that made me insecure. So for many years, whenever I smiled, I would do this. And people thought that I was mean, stuck up, rude. I got a lot of just negative things because I was insecure about smiling. So I would smirk.
Yeah.
Right. And it just made me feel like, damn, like no one knows that I'm just insecure about my smile because I didn't have any money, blah, 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 and along, blah, 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 blah.
Oh, yeah.
Right. And so in addition to that, you and I in the back chat and have spoken recently. My mom, for those that you guys don't know, my mom recently had a bout of cancer, right? Never expected that shit to happen. Now, this is years later. I'm not 20-something, I'm 48 years old now. But throughout the years, I saved money, and we'll talk about it. I saved money, and I'm not on any medication. I never had any major problems, thank God, right, so far. But my mom, she needed me. And I don't have any regrets. I had to take family medical leave. If you've ever heard about family medical leave, when you have these jobs, right? You got take family medical leave. FMLA, right? So what they don't tell you about FMLA is that you don't get your check. You think I'm getting my whole full salary on FMLA? No,
you get 66%.
Man, not even. Like that 66% they tell you about is capped. And my salary is over the cap amount. Right. So like, I don't know what the cap amount here is in Connecticut because it was all irrelevant to me at the end. And they take taxes out on that federal and right. So I make a certain amount of money. And at the end, I got $500 a week, $512 a week after taxes.
Man.
Right. Now, I'm not saying that's bad. Right. It was better than nothing. I'm just saying that if I wasn't in a financial position to take off, look, I took my little $500. I took the money. Don't get me wrong, because I pay into it. Right. But thank God that I have money saved up that I can continue paying my mortgage, paying for the lights, paying the internet, paying for gas and all these other things. I can take 3 months off to take care of my mom. Right. And me taking care of my mom, she wasn't like, some people really have to, like, it's a much dire situation. My mom went through surgery, she went through chemotherapy, she went through radiation, the whole thing. But what I'm saying is that she was still ambulatory, she could still speak, she could still eat on her own. I didn't have to feed her. Like, so I was still blessed that, it wasn't, some people it's even more like they have to like feed people, change people, clean people. You got to be there 24 hours. At least I was able to come in and come out, come in and come out. And my mom was in New York. I was driving back and forth, blah, blah, blah. The whole point of the matter is I had to spend money on gas back and forth to New York 2-3 times a week. I'm in Connecticut. She's in New York. I had to spend money on paying my bills. And so the reason why I bring up money all the time, if you notice, this is about when I tell you about security,
Mm-hmm.
the way I present myself, I was insecure about smiling because I didn't have a tooth. I was later on able to get an implant, which cost thousands of dollars, but I had
Oh
it.
yeah.
But
Yep.
I had it, right? I had it.
Oh
I
yeah.
wasn't walking around here. Just, I'm not like, listen, I'm not telling you, everyone go get implants. I'm just saying that what matters to you, like for you, it might be taking care of a child or mother, yourself, getting another apartment in a place that's safe. I lived in a place that wasn't safe, right? I'm gonna get into that, but to make another long story short, they talk about no, get real estate, and I tried that. I had a 4-family house, right? And can I tell you that I rented out all units and I lived in the illegal apartment in the basement. Yeah, because I knew it was temporary.
Yeah.
Right. So while everyone was paying me, the owner of the house was living in the basement with my husband, and everyone else was paying me. So that allowed me to save up money and to live rent free and save up
Oh
money.
yeah.
But unfortunately, I, lost the house. I'm going to get into that. It's irrelevant, but it allowed me to move to a safer neighborhood, to where I'm at right now. Right. Someone shot in the house, blah, blah, blah.
Oh man.
From outside, bro.
Yep.
Bullet
It happened here.
outside
Yeah.
my
I'm used
house.
to it. I'm so used to it. I'm
I
trying to
was,
say I've always been in the hood.
so listen, so I was like, oh, fuck this. Fuck this. I need to move now. And I didn't have the 20%, but I had money. I had enough to get the fuck up out of there. So that's why, like, I talk about the tooth, I talk about my mom, the FMLA, and talk about moving. I mean, I didn't just move. I bought a house.
Yeah.
Right, because I had the money. I didn't have 20% because I wasn't ready, but the situation made me want to move quicker than I wanted to. I just had to be out. But I had enough to buy the house, to put down payment, to all these different things, at least a little bit. So yeah, that's the reason why, you guys, I talk about money, money, money. I'm not here to tell you get rich and you ain't gonna never need nothing, get the brick up or whatever. What's up, lady? Navoa?
Navoa.
You know, that's the reason why it's passionate to me. Like originally I was gonna say, you ever watched videos of, okay, let me back up. If your nephew was young and he was like maybe 6 years old and he was doing little drawings and you asked him to draw a tree, you get like a little stem and you get this big bush at the top.
Oh yeah.
And tree, right?
Yep.
But if you were to ask an artist to draw a tree, you're going to get not the same tree. You're going to get branches and you're going to get depth and you're going to get like all this flowers. It's going to look more like,
more defined.
More refined, right? So the difference between they're both trees. You can recognize them as both trees. Why am I bringing this up? I'm having this conversation with you about finances, and I am only talking to you, trying to be entertaining, trying to be not long-winded, right? And we got a certain amount of time. I'm drawing a simple picture. I'm not giving you all the details and because man, there's so much. I'm not giving you all the fine branches and the leaves and all the color and everything, because I want to just get across that, listen, we're talking about a tree and everyone's going to have their own branches and their own details and their own story or whatever. I want people to know that as I'm sitting here right now in a somewhat okay situation, I'll share with you as much as I can. There's a lot more that I can't talk about, that's going to make it long-winded, that people, you want to be entertaining. There's a lot more. So yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So that's
this is like, and I would say for sure, this is more of just like an entry level talk, because regardless of how old you are, I promise you there's somebody that has not taken their financial health seriously. Because I'm one of those people, I'm in my 40s, never really took it seriously because I was always able to make it by, and I really didn't care about the circumstances. I would just kind of deal with whatever. I know there's more people like that. I'm not out here alone. I know I have a lot of friends and family that have also put themselves in precarious positions, leaning on help. I've seen the amount of GoFundMe's that happen when somebody dies. So it's not like
for stars, for rappers, and fucking
So I would even say like affiliated, like somebody Alonzo Hall, the All-Star advisor.
Yeah.
on YouTube. He speaks about insurance, which is like when Candid Ann talks about the tree and definition. That's one aspect of financial health, is making sure that you have proper insurance to cover your needs and your family. And that's like just one clear branch that you need to take. And again, we're not going to take anything very detailed, just like you said, a broad overview. Because I really do see this conversation to be very much like the health conversation. It's the same income and outflow. It's, like calories in, calories out, but it's also money in, which is income. And then what are your expenditures? So I really do feel like these do converge in that way. But I know my part of this conversation is to speak to, because the person that's trying to get a grip on their finances, the emotional component. Because what I realized, it didn't matter how much money I made. If my emotions were out of control, my spending was out of control. So I did have a really brief clip to play about that, because I just watched this right before the stream, like 4:30. I was watching something.
Awesome. Yeah. Because you know what? All these different changes, whether we're talking about health, we're talking about finances, all this shit starts in your mind, right?
All of it.
It's a decision, and it's so hard. It's so hard because, we live a YOLO, life, right? And I'm not telling you not to live. I'm gonna live. But I don't want you to struggle. And if you can make just a little preparation, not a huge sacrifice, just a little bit of a sacrifice, it can make life just a bit easier. So I'm interested in seeing your clip.
Yeah, I have a couple, but this is like a 30-second clip, just talking about that emotional component.
Yeah.
And I'd like to have that conversation this year and beyond. Because as long as collectively, because it starts with individuals, but as long as collectively we are allowing ourselves to be gaslit by ourselves, where we tell ourselves lies about things we know are a lie, because we need coverage to keep doing the things that we think we enjoy, because we've been conditioned and marketed to enjoy those things, but we don't even examine that.
We don't examine those things. I know I was guilty of that. I did not examine why I spent as much money on some of the things that I spent. It took me seeing other people that didn't spend, that had way more money than me, spend less than me on the exact same things. Like it was the most incredible thing when I ran into people with more money, and they're like, "Why are you buying that?" And I'm like, "That's what everybody's getting." And they're looking at me crazy, like, "Well, I know you can't afford that." And I'm like, "I know I can't afford that, but I gotta get it because everybody's getting it." So it's like, at some point, we do have to examine our thought processes. My nephew is one of the sharpest dressers I've ever seen.
That
and he never spends. Never spends more than $150 for a suit. Never. But he accessorizes and augments and changes everything. He'll
makes his own style.
Yeah, he'll color stuff. He'll color stuff or dye stuff or paint stuff. He's that. If he wants to look good, he's willing to put in the effort to refine his look, as opposed to paying for a complete look, which is going to cost you $500 to $1,000. He'll go get something for $150 and spend $50 to $75 and getting it tailored or something like that, or $150 to get it embellished. But it's those altogether. You have a suit that's going to last you for years, and you spent like $300. So those are investments in yourself that you can make, as opposed to like going all out and spending $500 to $1,000 for a suit. Right. It's those little small choices like that.
Yeah. And I love that. I absolutely love that he's able to people don't wear suits as much nowadays, but I think it speaks to the creativity and the ingenuity of I want a look and I don't want to spend the money. So how am I going to get it done? And you can, that mindset you can reproduce that in so many places,
Absolutely.
So many, getting your beard shaped up and your hair cut, so many places, you could do some of it yourself, so yeah.
That's definitely a thing.
So I want to start a little bit with a couple of minor things, nothing too crazy that I want to just mention. I'm going to throw things out here. Many years ago, one of my first corporate jobs, I was blessed. You got to, when you're at your job, listen to some of them older people, those older people that people shun away. They be knowing. Talk to them. They put me on. I was humble enough and thankful enough that they told me, hey, invest in the 401k, do this, do that. And one of the books that someone just, I don't even know why or what happened, mentioned to me, and you don't have to read it, I'm just going to tell you a little bit about it, was this book right here. It was called The Richest Man in Babylon. I still have a copy of it. I've bought this book many times and I've given it away to people. if you don't like read, it's a small book. It's not that thick, right? And if you don't have the patience for the way that it's written, it's a little and thou said if the it's kind of written.
Archaic.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, it really, really is. But the lessons, there are like some principles in here that started me on a path of trying to figure out what to do. When I first got my first apartment, I didn't know how much I was supposed to pay. I didn't have, like, y'all, listen, when I started working, I took my check to the check cashing place. I didn't have a checking account. I didn't know nothing about a
Same
fucking
thing.
checking account. I took my shit to check cashing place. And I didn't, so it was through a nigga. I can't lie. It was through a man. Was like, why do you have all this cash in a drawer? You need to get a checking account. This is before my husband. Years. Right? You need to get a checking account. Right? And I was like, oh, okay. Listen, when I got my first checking account, I didn't even know how to write a check out. I didn't know what do I put where? What are these lines? I didn't even know anything. So I got a checking account and stuff like that. And I would ask the older people at my job about, like, I need to get an apartment. I was living in a bad situation. I broke up with the boy, and I need to find a place to live. And I didn't know how much. I got a job at Lehman Brothers, and I was trying to figure out, like, how much am I supposed to pay towards rent? Like, I'm a single person, no kids, by myself. Like, how do I know how much rent can I afford? And, I would just have these conversations with older people. And one guy told me, he said, whatever your paycheck is, a barometer. Now, I'm not saying this is for everyone. He goes, here's what I do is I make sure that I can pay my rent in one paycheck. So whatever one paycheck is, your rent shouldn't be no more than that. And the reason being that he gave me was that, God forbid I'm in a tight spot, I know that my next paycheck, I got a roof over my head. Right? I'm not saying that's a good measurement. It was all I had at the time, but I used it and I built upon it. Then I got in contact with this book and I built upon it. And then I got in contact with some more information and I built upon it and I refined it and I refined it and I refined it until, over time, I made out a system that works for me. Right. The thing about this book is that it'll tell you some of the same kind of principles. Live on 50% of your salary, whatever you make, whatever you're at. There's numbers on here. I might be a little bit off with the numbers. People have debt. I think the book tells you like 20% pay off your debt. I don't care what your debt is. But if you're trying to get out of debt and you have a lot of debt, I live a debt-free life. I don't have any debt, but that wasn't always the case. If you have debt, allocate 20% to paying it off, and in time it will come down. Right? You can go onto other people's platforms and talk about, get into the details, the branches and the leaves, and all the colorful information and the details regarding how to get that done, how to call these people, how to negotiate. I'm not here to talk about that. I'm just saying you make a framework, right? And 20% of your paycheck go towards paying off that debt. 50% you live off of, right? Now we're at 70%. 10% you save. Why are you even saving? You're saving for a possible investment, right? And on top of that, another 10% you want to save just for an emergency. Just for you walk down the street or you're driving down the street and you got a flat tire. Right, so you don't got to use coochie coupons to get your flat tire fixed. But you don't have to. I will say this. I was watching that Cat Williams interview, and we'll talk about it a little bit because I hope that we'll talk about it a little bit because the things that I got out of it is I'm always thinking about money and freedom, and what I realized is he's able to speak freely, recklessly, maybe some might say.
Yep.
Whatever adjective you want to give it, because one of the things that he said is he finances his own projects.
Yes.
So like me right now, when you first made the title, Arshawn, and you were like nursing those pockets, I was like, why Arshawn always gotta put something nursing in there? Right? Because I'm afraid I'm not where he's at. Let's be realistic.
Yeah.
Right? If I come on here and I talk too recklessly about patience and this and that, my job can be snatched away from me.
Gotcha.
But he set himself up to be in a situation in which he can say what the fuck he feel like saying. Nobody can cancel him. No one has financed him.
Yeah.
Right? So those are the things that I was peeping on that. Like,
Oh, yeah.
I don't care what he said was true, false, or whatever. I thought to myself, man, he's free.
Yeah. That actually leads into this other clip I wanted to play from Karen Hunter still about setting yourself up, because she mentioned the exact same thing. And the nursing thing, just real quick, is more of an homage, you know what I'm saying? Because we're not going to talk about nursing. We're not going to talk about nursing. So y'all can, if y'all looking for nursing information or how to get into a nursing program, this ain't the stream for you. But I just love the fact that Candid Ann and Bree are nurses, and I get to play with that little stuff. But it's
no worries.
Yeah.
I just wanted to mention it because I wanted to kind of make a connection towards That's real. How I'm not free. I could come on here to some capacity and talk about money, but I can't really go on here and say some shit. I would like to say some shit, but I can't say some shit. But he could get on Shannon Sharp and tell all this shit because ain't nobody could stop his money.
Yeah.
I wish I'm only here, like you said, to talk about a little bit of money, but eventually there's levels, right? There's levels. Yeah, that's it. Don't mind me. I'm just kind of making a reference to the freedom.
Oh, for sure. Shout out to Let's Talk, the Better Black Life, brother Clarence in the building. About to hit this clip. It's about 2 minutes, 50 seconds, but she talks to the freedom aspect.
Unless you have an inheritance or a trust fund, or, you have had a really, really good job over the years and saved your money. Most of us need the jobs that we have. We work so that we can have the life and the lifestyle that we want to have. But some of us are in positions where we have to work every day. We have to work at the jobs that we're in. And I'm going to say this with my full chest. Sometimes, though, knowing that you don't have to be there makes the job so pleasant. It makes going to work so happy when you don't have to be there. And you want to know what? And I learned this in my 20s. Right. So I've been in this mind frame for a long time of never having to go to a job that you had to depend on for your livelihood. I've shared the story before. When I was in my late 20s, I got $1 million to start a magazine. And I was still working at the New York Daily News. So I printed out my bank statement, as I mentioned, and taped it on the wall because there was a joy in having $1 million to see that. It was the dumbest thing in the world, by the way. You do not keep $1 million in a bank account. It's stupid. It was dumb. I had no financial guidance. So let me just say that. I would still be eating off of that money if I had a bit of sense. I did not. But I came to work every day with joy because I clearly didn't have to be there. But I enjoyed the work that I did at the Daily News. I enjoyed being on an editorial board. I enjoyed baking cookies for my colleagues. I enjoyed bothering Jonathan Capehart every day. I enjoyed it. And it brought me joy to be able to go to work knowing I didn't have to be there. And you want to know what else? The bosses, the people there who knew I didn't have to be there, treated me differently. There was no longer anything that you could make me do. So you know what? I did my work, though. I did it excellently. I think we won a Pulitzer while I was there doing that. At the end of the day, though, what I also realized is that people respect people when they know you don't need to be there, but you're there anyway. Like, there's a level of respect. First, there's fear. Is this person gonna, give me their ass to kiss? Maybe. So you should always be ready for that. But there was also a level of respect.
I wish y'all could see Candid Ann's face.
It can only be fomented by the confidence that you have coming into a space that you don't need to be in, but you want to be in. And you do your job differently when you want to be there, as opposed to, I have to be here. So my goal, that feeling, I want everyone to have. I'm not saying people should quit their job. Don't quit your job, but be in your job knowing that you don't have to be in that job, that you have set yourself up in such a way that the job is gravy on a dish you already made.
Yeah. Candid Ann was back
Ooh. Let me tell you, she was talking to my soul. I've never seen that clip.
Yeah, I just can't. It got posted today. I was literally watching that right before I came here, and I had to hurry up and clip it before I got on stream. I was like, "Oh, this is Candid Ann. Like, this is what Candid Ann's been talking about this entire time." Yeah.
Yes. Oh man, the fact that she had the money and didn't even have any guidance, didn't know what to do, but It still set her up for some positivity. It set her up to have a different attitude coming to the job. Listen, I told you a couple of seconds ago that I'm debt free, right? I don't have any student loan debt. I don't, except for my mortgage. Right? I don't have any credit card debt. Do I spend credit cards? Yes, you and I and Bree, we've spoken about like getting these credit cards. Well, that's a whole different conversation, but trying to utilize the system to my advantage, right? So I do have credit cards, but I don't have any, like right now, if I were to open up everything is 00000, or maybe it's $30. I think I bought like a curling iron or some bullshit or whatever, but nothing, no thousands of dollars, right? There are times now when I went to nursing school and I didn't have any money. When I saved up for nursing school, I didn't have any money. I zeroed out my credit card, and every time I had to get an oil, I kept my car maintained. And when I had to, if anything happened to my car, I put it on the credit card, and I only paid the minimum balance to get me through to nursing school because I didn't have any income. Right. I'll talk one day. We'll talk about how I became a nurse, maybe, or whatever the hell. But it was for a period of time. And once I got a job, I knocked that thing down immediately, And so I definitely went one day. I don't know. I feel like I do want to talk about nursing a little bit, but not right now. How to become a nurse, because there's good money in nursing, but it's not an easy job. But there's good money in nursing. But yeah, we'll talk about that. How to become a nurse. There's a lot of scams, blah 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 blah, whatever. Some of these schools are taking people's money, and they're not accredited, and you end up asked out. Okay, so wherever people can try to make money and scam your ass, they will.
They're going to.
Right.
Jesus.
So I love that clip. That clip spoke to my soul, because right now what I'm working on is being mortgage free. I'm paying extra towards my mortgage so that I can be completely free. Right. So that when I go to work, I don't owe a mortgage. All I need is the utilities.
Yeah.
Right. And if prayerfully, we don't know what will happen. I didn't know that my mom will be ill, and so it took me off of my goal for the year. But you know what? For the rest, for a good 6 months, 8 months, or whatever, until that happened, I was knocking it back the principal. And so, even though I got off balance there, I still made progress.
Oh yeah.
Right. So I love the fact that she talks about the freedom and the attitude and showing up, and still ignorance.
Yeah.
Right. Nobody talking about like, I know everything and let me put you on. I know everything. There was still ignorance there. I'm honest. I'm candid. I swear to God, the candid fits me perfectly when I chose my name. But still, I feel like I can, kind of express to you guys that this money thing isn't just to be like, oh, I'm in Versace.
To be flexing. Yeah.
If you want to flex, that's fine. I'm talking about if your mama is sick, can you help her out?
Yeah.
I'm talking about if someone busts a front tooth out of your face, can you get it replaced?
Yeah.
Right. As opposed to walking around feeling insecure, can you pay your mortgage? And I got other shit going on in my real life, which eventually, maybe 5 years down the line, I'll talk about. But life is real, right? So that's the reason why I talk about the financial freedom. So some of the steps, let's get into some of the steps, right? I spoke a little bit about this particular book, right? If people are interested in this book, I would just say, go to Wikipedia and find out the steps, because they kind of align it. I don't know if I gave the percentages exactly. I think I said 50, 20, 10, and 10 or something like that. It might be a little off. It might be 50, 20, 10, 10. I don't know. It don't matter. But find out what the steps. The idea is you're going to live on less than what you make. You're going to save a portion of your money. You're going to save a portion of your money for future investments, which we don't know what it's going to be yet. We'll figure that out together on this live stream. And some of the money you're going to save for yourself for emergencies. Some of the money you're going to pay down your debt. Right. And so you're going to figure that out, what that means for you. It doesn't have to be cumbersome. I know that sometimes it's overwhelming when you feel like, oh my God, I don't even want to look at how much money I owe. It can be overwhelming, but you got to start somewhere. You know, a house is made brick by brick. You know, a race is ran one step at a time. You know, so I want people not to be overwhelmed. Like it's possible. It's possible, but you just gotta have a little bit of a plan. You know, and I'm happy that you spoke about. I want to ask you, Arshawn, then what? Even though I know I'd be on here like you gotta shave money, money, right? What was it that made you change your mindset to say, you know what, let me go ahead and actually make a change? Because sometimes I feel like, man, like sometimes I feel like I'm talking, but I'm like, is
talking
anyone
to
hearing
walls.
me?
Yeah.
And I want people to understand. I'm not saying this because I'm trying to make anything off of you. But like I told you, I worked 3 nights in a row. I'd rather just be drinking and relaxing and maybe fucking, to be honest with you. But I just rather do something else. But I'm really passionate about like the heartache that I went through for some of these things. I don't want people to go through that. I'm not saying life is going to be perfect, but I for damn sure don't have any regrets about taking care of my mom. I talked about family medical leave, right? And it wasn't a lot of money, but I have no regrets because I had the money, you know, to take care of it.
Oh yeah. Yeah, for me, I would say one of the reasons, like when we were having the conversations, one of the reasons was we were in a space where everybody was trying to kind of push each other. So it was really hard to like, you know, we're encouraging Bree, and you know, you're encouraging us, and Inya's encouraging everybody, and Nova's like, so we were in a space of like positive growth. So I was like, I really want to try some things. I really don't want to just keep saying it's not possible for me, or I don't care enough. So I was like, this seems like something I could attack without a lot of negative emotion. Now, what I learned about myself, because what I learned, I'm gonna tell 2 things. One was my driving force for spending, and then the second was that saving is a habit. It's not. I don't know what I thought it was before, but it's really just a habit. So it's not really magic. And to me, it just felt like I never understood how people save money. So
magic.
Yeah, it just felt like magic. I'm like, how can you just sit on money? Because there's all this stuff I want. Like there's this stuff I want, and then they put it on sale. Why would I not buy it when it's half off? It doesn't make sense. I want it. It's half off. Why would I not buy it? Why would I not get something I want? If I'm working, I'm living, I'm suffering. Why would I not get this thing I want? Yeah, we're all suffering. We're all suffering. Okay, see, listen. Don't make me play it. No.
Listen, people are. The Black community is suffering, and you're saying it's great. You're saying,
listen. People are suffering, Candid Ann. I promise people are suffering, but I see it though. That's one of the things. I just talked to my mother about this on New Year's. I was having this conversation, and I'm like, that thing about going to work when you know you have to is driving a lot of people to the brink, because it's really hard to continue to do something when you know all of your efforts are already spent. Whatever I do today doesn't matter, because when I get paid this Friday, next Thursday, next Tuesday, I know the money's already gone. And the week after that, and the week after that, and in perpetuity for the rest of my life. I don't see a way where I can spend the things on the things I want. I'm going to spend it on rent, gas, medical, this, that, kids, diapers, I'm never going to have my financial situation with my current skill set. I feel that feeling. I know what that feels like. And that puts people in a miserable state because you have nothing to look forward to. You can't even, if you have to plan, because I'm from the people. I'm from the people where you have to actually consider your finances before you even take the family to the movies. Because it's like $50 just for snacks.
It's crazy.
You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. So I mean, if you have a monthly or weekly, like weekly, let's say you get paid bi-weekly.
You got a girlfriend with a big purse. Bring your chicken wings in the goddamn movie theater. Come on now.
But people do stuff on looks. People do stuff on the way things look, and that looks sacky. Yeah. So people want to be fly. You ain't about to carry no chicken up in the Ty Libra in the building. Appreciate you.
Beautiful. What's up, beautiful?
Yeah. So because of the images that we try to keep up, there's certain expenses that come with that. There's certain cars that you have to drive. You have to live in certain areas. You got to dress a certain way. And because of that driver, if that's how you believe you have to live, you have to make enough money to do that. And if you don't, you're going to run up your credit, which is what most Americans are running up their debt to live lives that they can't really afford. That's an American thing. The country's doing it, not just the people. The literal country is running up debt to live a lifestyle it can't afford. So our leadership isn't any different either. So it's like that leads to a negative state. If nothing you do today is going to have a tomorrow payoff, and you know that, where's your hope come from? And that's where I was doing. I started buying things to give me that feeling of satisfaction. And when we were talking about stuff, I would look around and I would see unopened Amazon packages. Like when we were talking about saving money, I literally had about a dozen unopened Amazon packages.
A dozen, bro?
When we were talking, like the literal time we were talking about saving money, like I promise you, I had about, like right now, I've still got, I probably still have at least 3 that I just never opened.
You wait, I gotta
listen.
Go slow. You bought shit on Amazon and you didn't even open
never
that.
Opened, never even opened it because I didn't need it. That was the problem. I had to learn. I was buying stuff I didn't need it because I thought I wanted it. It wasn't a need. It was a want. It was always a want. I wanted it, and they gave me a price that made it attractive. Like, oh, I can afford this now, but I don't need it. So anytime you're buying something you don't need and won't use, you can't afford it.
Listen,
that's like handing somebody money for nothing because you're never using it.
Okay, handing who owns Amazon? What's that guy's name now?
Bezos. Yeah, Bezos. I'm just handing them money.
He got
to take up space in my and what I always do, because I don't like getting on Facebook Marketplace and selling stuff. I give it away. Right. So the worst part was I'm giving one person money now, and then I'm giving somebody else money later. And I get nothing but a temporary feeling of getting something I wanted. I never actually even used. I just gave. I promise. My mother was dealing with this guy. I guess she lost her son, so she named some charity after Corday's Golden Heart or something like that.
Okay.
I just gave about $200. Oh, I don't know the young man. Sorry to the family.
Yeah.
But I gave about $150 in unused electronics to this thing. Because it's going to the parents of somebody that lost a child to gun violence.
Yeah.
Or to the teenagers that have been affected. So it's like unused electronics. And I still have a couple of $100 in unused electronics just sitting around.
Send something to me.
No, I'm saying, but there's a spending thing. And I promise you, everybody I've known, if they were women, they had some unused purses. Or unused heels, or unused dresses somewhere in the closet.
Oh my God, yes, Arshawn, you're speaking to my soul right now. I feel like I could just. I'm so happy this conversation is going like this because I don't want it to be like, guys, do this, because it's just a conversation. But like my mom, growing up, when you grow up poor, like I told you, Rihanna, how much if you know much about Barbados. So it's like, oh, this tourist place. I didn't grow up in a tourist Barbados, right? I grew up in outhouse. Right? A pipe that runs down the village and you shower the fuck outside because there's no running water in the house.
Ooh.
Okay? So why am I even bringing this up? I'm bringing this up because my mom, I grew up with a woman that grew up like this, right? And so when people come over, she taught me, don't wear that. That's the good stuff for when people come over. These plates, the silverware, that's for when people come over. You use this, right? When you talk about that speaks to me, right? Like, so there's a certain mind frame that I had to break out of myself in terms of, is it okay to use my perfume? Is it okay to use these plates? Is it okay to drink out of a wine glass and nobody's here? Like, to use my things that I bought? Like, there's that mental thing that you're talking about. Like I said, I'm only talking about surface level stuff. There's a lot that goes into it. Even when I had money, sometimes I'm still nervous to spend it. I'd be like, And when I listen to interviews and I listen to very popular people, I know oftentimes, like I mentioned the Cat Williams interview because everyone's talking about it now. I'm not a big fan of a lot of celebrities. I remember years ago, Jay-Z talked about finances a little bit. He said, if I can't buy something 4 times, I can't afford it. right? So if I'm about to make a purchase for a perfume, because you guys know I love perfume, right? I love some
Oh yeah.
perfume, right? If I can't afford to buy that fragrance 4 times over, I can't afford it. I listen to these things. So like I told you about the percentages in here. I told you about how the guy told me get the paycheck, 1 paycheck should pay for rent. I listen to these things and I ingest it because it makes me realize that like I don't care how wealthy you are, right? Even very wealthy people, Chad Johnson, I've been enjoying Nightcap with Shay Shay and Uncle Ocho, right? He spoke on Club Shay Shay about like how for the first 2 years he was living at the I don't even know what the thing is because I'm not into sports. But he was saying I
Yeah.
lived at the
At the
facility.
facility. Yep.
Yeah, he was like, for what? For what am I spending money for? He said all his jewelry was fake, right? I am the product, right?
Yep.
These are wealthy people. He has more money than I probably will ever make in my entire whole ass life. Right? And he's wearing fake jewelry. And I got real jewelry. I don't got no real jewelry, but I'm saying like for us that that want to sport Jesus pieces and all this type of dumb shit, right? It just when I listen to things like that, I'm like, damn, right? Why? Now I don't have any kids, so I have a little bit more freedom than maybe some other people. I don't have to worry about like, right? But if you do have kids and he has kids, you want to set them up. I'm not saying you have to pay for everything for your kids. I'm just saying that like, God forbid your kid had a toothache, broke a leg, had an asthma attack, medications, all these things cost money. And like Cat Williams, in that interview, then he said that he wanted to be involved in Hollywood, but he wanted to have a virgin asshole, and he didn't want to fuck penis. Right? I can sit here in front of you, right, and tell you, I ain't. They talk about soul ties. I don't have any soul ties. Any man I've been involved sexually, very few men, right? Because I never had to bend the fuck over to get my rent paid, to get my lights paid, to get nothing. There's no man that can take that. I don't have negative soul ties to men. I've had positive exchanges in which the interaction was positive and I never had to bend over. I ain't telling you, if you want to do what you want to do, I'm not here to judge you. Right? What's up, Miss She Said?
Mrs. She Said, you.
What's up? What's fellow New Yorker in the motherfucking house? I'm not here to tell you. I know people believe in hypergamy and all these different things, and I'm okay with that. I have no judgment. But all I'm saying is, I might not today sit here in front of you. I might not know my purpose, and I'll be honest with you. I don't always know why God made me, what value I bring. I don't always know that. And even if Arshawn, you told me, and you're this, you're that, I'm gonna be like, whatever, child, I don't know. Right. But one thing I do know about myself is that I was never willing to sell my body, to compromise, to give anyone access to my vagina for money. I ain't never sucked nothing. I never bent over. I ain't never opened up my legs for money. I've never. I ain't say if you did that and you had to do that, you're okay with it. That's on you. I don't give a shit. Right? I don't care. I don't care. But I knew this much about myself. Right? So I had to find a way. I had to strategize and find a way that I was going to make sure that I was okay. Right? I had to. And I was from the Bronx. I didn't know hypergamous men. I didn't know men in suits and men of money. I didn't know anything about that shit. Yeah. Right. The boyfriend that I was living with, he couldn't help me. I loved him. He was good to me, but he couldn't help me. He didn't make much money. He was working at Radio Shack. Right. So anyway, yeah, that's the reason why I bring these things up because, like I said, I'm only talking about a little bit, but I can go on, but I don't want to make this boring. But I want people to understand that, let's get into the steps. I don't know. Let's get into the steps.
Yeah, let's get into that. Just give me a quick second. We're going to get to the steps. But I want to shout out Quantum in the building. I also, we had a little bit of unintentional shaming here from Candid Ann, but I want to let you ladies know that I'm still for sale. Like she said, she ain't never bent over. She ain't never bent the knee. Ladies, I am for sale. You know what I'm saying? If you want to throw some dollars my way to, you know what I'm saying? I'm all of me. I'm for sale.
What you selling, baby? What you selling? Your asshole available? What you selling?
Man, if it's a woman, no. See, I ain't gonna never feel gay for a woman. I ain't gonna never feel gay for a woman. I ain't gonna lie to you. I ain't never gonna feel gay for no woman. So, and you can't shame me if it's a woman. I'm just saying. But I did want to talk about, because you talked about something, but it reminded me of a story my mother was telling me about. She has a friend. She's going on a cruise this year, and she has a friend. And I wanted to go into, because I talked about my emotional spending, and I know we talked about impulse spending, like we just buy stuff on the fly. Like, that's a problem too. But I wanted to talk about social spending before we get into the steps, because like these are the barriers to everything that you're getting ready to talk about. One of the things is social spending. I had this problem, and then I'm going to go into the story about my mother's friend. When it was time to go out, I tried to live like my friends who had more money, who had more income. A lot of them had higher up positions, because I never really cared about position or status or climbing. So I always kept entry level positions because it was fun. I was always after fun, but I was always hanging around managers because they were just more mature. That's like who I could have conversations with were managers. So they're all making like 72, 80. You know what I'm saying? So we go out. They can buy a couple of rounds. I buy a couple of rounds. It's my pockets are hurting until payday. You know what I'm saying? But that social spending, it set me back quite a bit. If one person buys dinner for the crew, and it's like, next time I'm gonna buy dinner, but I'm hanging with people that have two, like you said, I got to be able to buy something 4 times if I can afford it. They've got 4 times as much money as me, or they've got dual income households. So I'm hanging with people who outclass me economically, but I'm trying to balance them out as far as what we can contribute. That was also a problem. Vacations. So that's where I was going with my mother's friend, because there's another way we get caught up with how we get trapped, because we're trying to alleviate some of that pressure, trying to satisfy some of those urges and those wants. Although my mother's affording this trip, her was that bunk mate or cabin mate, her cabin mate, for whatever reason, is not able to afford it. So they're hoping to find money in time for the trip, which means I'm setting myself back. I don't even have money for this. Not even like 4 times. I don't even have the one time. I'm hoping to get the one time, but I have somebody else who's assigned to the cabin, who's paying for it, who's depending on me to come up with my one time that I don't have.
Damn.
So social spending is also a problem, just so we can be a part of the crowd. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Quantum. I don't have the bell bottoms anymore, or the colorful coat.
Get him, Quantum. Get him.
And that's what you have to do. This is what I had to learn: setting aside money for outings, planning for night outs in advance. That's what I got to. But even then, I still had to learn to be able to say no sometimes. Because if I have to save to go out, I probably can't afford to go out.
Right. I want to talk about. Listen, if you ever have a question that I can.
100 watts.
What up, Watts? Oh, have you seen 100 Watts smile? Never mind. That's a woman thing. Never mind. I got distracted me. He's got an amazing smile. He don't smile often, but I love to see a black man smile. Like black men, when they watch, this is a side note, it just popped into my mind. Oftentimes when black men, at least from where I'm from, the Bronx, or I grew up in the Bronx, from the islands, but also from the Bronx, they smile. They're in pictures throwing up the bird. But the rare instance in which a black man smiles, woo, love it. And 100 Watts has a smile. Woo, love it. Hope that you're well, brother. I hope that you're well. Take care. Love that guy.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Watts is dope. Watts is dope. I was like, he always comes in with the wildest question. I love it. I love Watts. But I do want to say, before we get into the steps, I did have this clip that I wanted to play, because this is what I believe Candid Ann wants everybody to get so free that no matter where they work, they feel like this young man. So shout out to my homeboy G. This is one of his like cousins. I don't know how close of a cousin. Okay. But this is how excited I want everybody to be when they're doing the thing that they do for money. All right.
Turn up. Let's go. I thank the Lord that I'm working at McDonald's. I praise the Lord that I'm working at McDonald's. I thank my Lord that I'm working at McDonald's. I give God the glory working at McDonald's. I thank the Lord that I'm working at McDonald's. I'm making the money at McDonald's. We making the food at McDonald's. We serving food off at McDonald's.
But he had me cracking up when I saw it. I was like, "Oh my god, that is cracking me up."
Can I tell you something? For some strange reason, I don't know if I'm sleep deprived, deprivation or whatever, but for some reason that touched a chord with me. Can I tell you? So, like,
Yeah,
growing up, when you're from a Caribbean household, Caribbean people, we stick together.
yeah.
Right. So when you're in the islands, I don't care what Caribbean island you're from, Jamaica, Haiti, Barbados, Antigua, Dominica, blah, blah, blah. We kind of, because we have a somewhat similar mindset. There's differences, but so anyway, so I grew up with other Caribbean people from other islands in my neighborhood. And I have someone that's like a sister to me. I don't know my life without her. She's autistic. And, she once said, "Why can't I work like Andrea? Right? Why I want to work too. Why can't I work?" And she had jobs at the movie theater, jobs at, like, I think it was Burger King. And during those times when she was able to work, I mean, they eventually, when people are autistic, it's not always easy to keep them hired. They have a difficult time holding on to employment. But like yeah. So when he was like, I'm thankful for my job at McDonald's.
Absolutely.
Listen, that should be fucking real. But because I'm on here and I'm a nurse and I make a decent salary, right? I don't give a fuck. Like I told you, there's a lot of branches and shit that goes on behind here. She was like, and the funny thing about her autism, she don't think she's autistic. She thinks she's regular. Listen, she got a kid. She be fucking.
But she's regular to her. Like, she's regular to her.
Her kid is my godson. That's my godson. Right? And she asks, "Why can't I work like Andrea?" Right? And she had a job. So listen, shout out to that guy. Wherever you're at, I'm not saying that everyone's gonna be like some major thing, but like wherever you're at, whatever you can do. Right? If you're autistic and you work at the movie theater or whatever, like, listen, there's still like, save up a little something. Enjoy a little bit of money and save up a little something. So I kind of appreciated that clip. I really did, Arshawn. That was awesome. That was dope.
Yeah, cool. Glad you appreciate it. I'm glad that had some other effect. When I saw it, I was like, man, like the rest of the video, his rhythm is off. But I was like, the hook was good. I was like, I kind of like that hook. But you love your professor. I did want to say, because you dropped off The Richest Man in Babylon and you talked about the percentages. And I'm going to tell you, I had that problem when I was coming up because I like to work entry-level jobs. I like to, you love your profession. I like to be around people that don't have the social climbing thing. I mean, because obviously I think I've like shown myself to not be one of those people that's trying to elevate. I'm trying to get on a new level. I'm not one of those people. I like the people that are normal.
Arshawn? All right, can we slow down for a second here? Hold on.
If you feel differently, let me know.
Yeah, so explain to me, what exactly are you saying? Are you saying, you said that you're not one of those people that's trying to social climb?
Yeah.
But you enjoy conversations and exchanges with people that are of a you manager and that kind of thinking. So you're doing it because why? Not because your intention isn't to social climb. You just have a natural interest. Well, explain to me what you're talking about.
Yeah, so there's a difference for me from being social with people that I can like think on the same level with than social climbing, where I'm trying to get some outcome from it. Like, so I'm not trying to collaborate with somebody that has like, oh, they've got 1,000 subs or they've got 10,000 subs. I can go over here and I can get, or they can hook me up with a networking opportunity and I can maybe get, I'm not looking for opportunities from people to get something. I'm looking for opportunities to connect with a person.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't. So that for me, that's the difference between like social and social climbing. Intellectual dance partners. I like that. I like intellectual dance partners. Yeah, I'm not looking for business partners. I'm looking for dance partners.
Hey,
so
you be dancing?
Yeah. Not so much anymore. It's been a while.
My knees, my right knee right here be hurting, but I'm gonna do what I could do.
But what I wanted to say with The Richest Man in Babylon, you gave those percentages, and I was gonna say people that hung out on the lower economic rungs. If you're somebody that makes like less than $80,000, you might have to adjust those percentages the same way people adjust a recipe. maybe if you have like 3 kids and you're making 60K, you can't live off 50% of your income, because 30K in this economy, no. So I would say what I had to learn,
Yes.
because somebody prescribes a percentage to you of what you should save or what you should put up, do what you can. Even
Yes.
if it's $5, even if it's just cutting back that one coffee a week, whatever that little small, because sometimes I've just siphoned off
Yes.
$10. I've just taken off $10 because I could. Or
Yeah.
I've had $20 that I was getting ready to spend something on $20 on Amazon, and instead of spending it, I just went ahead and dropped that off to the side. So
Yes.
whatever, little stuff.
Yes. Would you rather spend your life pursuing financial freedom or financial
Complacency.
Financial freedom all the way. I don't have to think twice. I'd rather financial freedom all the motherfucking way. Do what you can.
I'm learning that I need to probably figure things out differently, because I would always go with, for me, I always wanted to be content. I always wanted to be comfortable. Man, so this is hard for me to answer.
That's what the freedom offers you.
But see, I'll tell you. Okay, now I don't want to get too far off, because this will get philosophical for me. What I found out is,
I'm here.
I'm gonna use you as an example, though. I don't believe there is a such thing as financial freedom, because no matter where you are as far as comfort, you never feel secure. Like, there's always a feeling of, I need more to take care of what I need, because the next thing that comes up might be the thing that's more than I have. And I see rich people have that same problem. No matter how much money, they're always trying to accumulate more, because the next thing that comes up, it might be the thing that's more than I have. So freedom for me is that, like in a horror movie where you're trying to reach that door at the end of the hallway, and the hallway keeps stretching, and it just keeps stretching, and it just keeps stretching. Like, it feels like freedom is that. So for me, I always wanted complacency, because like, if I'm comfortable where I'm at, wherever I'm at, then I can be okay there.
Okay.
Because freedom feels like an unattainable thing. It feels like something that we say, but nobody's truly ever free. Except for the people who never have to work again. And that's rare. To never have to work again, that's rare.
I understand 100%. Now that you explained it, I understand what you're saying. So I got a little nervous with the word complacency, and I don't like to like pick apart adjectives and nouns and I'm all for the overarching idea. But when I think about like complacency, I remember there was a time in my life when I said, like, God, I'm not trying to be greedy, right? I was in the Bronx. I was living in Soundview. Crackhead broke into my car twice, left the crack pipe in my car and everything.
Dang. Trying to share it with you.
Left personal lubricant in my car and everything. I kid you the fuck not. I had a Nissan Sundance. That was my first car. It was a white Nissan. Anyways, let me not get into the branches and the leaves, okay? Right. I thought to myself, my God, I don't want to live here. I don't want to be greedy, God. I just want enough money that I know I'll be okay. That's all I really want. And I was overwhelmed. I don't want to sell my pussy. I don't want to suck no dick. I'm gonna be honest with you. I just wanted to be okay. And I was trying to strategize and figure out, what can I do to be okay and get out of this situation? And I figured it out. But it wasn't easy. What you laughing at?
I'm sorry, because you're talking, but I'm sorry. In my head, I'm trying to figure out, when you say personal lubricant, like, was it like some lube, or you like some lubrication from their personal body, from some fluids?
I never saw this before.
My God.
It was a personal. It was a Nissan Sundance. So it was white. My first car my daddy gave me. It was a personal. I've never seen it before, because but it was like you twist the cap and you squeeze out the lubricant. It was like a one-time use.
Oh man, okay.
So let's pretend like you can have a couple of them in your pocket, so every time you fuck, you can squeeze it, get pop right, and do your thing. It wasn't like when you go to CVS and you have the jar or whatever.
Not
it wasn't
the whole.
like
Got you.
No, it
wasn't like a KY. It was just
exactly. It was like you twist this thing and you squeeze out the thing.
Yeah.
So I was like, what the fuck? Like, I was living in Soundview. in the Bronx.
They was getting
And,
down to your son.
right? So just like Kat was talking about, he wanted to have a virgin asshole and he didn't want to suck no penis.
Yeah.
I listen, I don't know all the things about myself. I
Mhm.
don't know what value I bring. I don't know this, that. One thing I did know about myself was I wasn't about to sell no puss. I wasn't about to suck no for shelter, for amenities, utilities, or anything like that. So I had to figure it out,
That's
and
dope.
I figured it out. I figured out to some extent, right?
Yeah.
So
Okay.
yeah, to some extent, and sometimes just a matter of humbling yourself and asking people questions. One thing I'll say is I'm blessed is I'm a pretty smart person, right? But I did the best that I can. I did the best that I can. What did Quantum say? I remember going to the XX store and getting those. I never had that, y'all. I never used that. Really, girl? Word?
Wait, Watts, I heard it, man. They getting everybody out here. What is it? Antoine Dawson say, hide your kids, hide your wife, hide your husbands too. Diddy getting everybody. But we definitely going to get into some of like the saving strategies. I wanted you to talk about like some of the steps. Now, when you're ready, I have the stuffer and the detailer videos queued up. But like, did you want to get into like, did you have like something specifically you wanted to say before we play the videos, or did you want to start with one of the videos?
Yeah, I mean, for one, I did mention this book because it mentions percentages, and I'm thankful that you mentioned like, hey, it's a guidance, it's not like a rule, so don't feel bad if like you realize that right now you are spending 60-70% in rent, right? I mentioned that I was living in the basement to my own house for a reason, because sometimes you make a temporary sacrifice for the future, right? So if you want to buy a condo, a car, but you're not in a good space right now, I've been there, right? I've been there. So I tell people like, can you get a roommate? Can you, just for 2 years, can you figure out what you can figure out for a temporary period of time so you can save up that money to buy yourself a condo, a co-op, or townhouse, or make a down payment, whatever it is that you want to do. There's a lot of options available. Can you move back in with mom and give her some money? Don't be disrespectful. Y'all, listen, I moved back in with my mom after I, was free and had an apartment. I moved back in with my mom and I paid her a little rent instead of paying someone else. I paid her a little rent. My mom loves to cook, so I never had to buy food. She loves to cook. What's up, Truth? Right? She loves to cook for me. Mom loves to feed me. So I never had to buy food, and I wasn't greedy. I wasn't selfish. I kept certain supplies, eggs, orange juice, and shit like that. At the time, my mom, she liked to have drinks. She likes to drink, right? So she would drink screwdrivers. So if there was no orange juice, she would come down. She was like, you got some orange juice down here? Yeah, mom, go ahead. Go. I wasn't selfish. I understand that I was trying to, she's helping me and I'm helping her, right? Even though I was in a mindset, I'm trying to save, I wasn't selfish, right? Why you got to come down here and get orange juice? Why? No, mom, you helping me. Go ahead. Do what you got to do. Get the orange juice, sis. Mom, come on, go ahead. So while you're in this mind frame of trying to save up money and what have you, if you can find someone that you can work with, if you can find someone that you can partner up with, whether it's a roommate, whether it's your mom, your dad, whomever, I'm saying for temporarily, so that you can get that down payment, so that you can get the down payment for, I don't know what I never lived in that townhouse. I don't know what it's like, but I'm assuming there's some kind of down payment, a co-op or whatever, so that you can be just 2 years, 1 or 2 years down the line, a lot more stable. Go ahead and do that. Go ahead and do that. Now, my mom, like when I lived with my mom, I wasn't married. My mom is very Christian, so I couldn't have I couldn't have my husband, right, stay over. Sacrifice.
Ooh,
okay.
It's a big sacrifice.
Sacrifice. Okay. I'm just drawing a little picture, but there's a lot. right? But I was focused. I knew what I wanted. And to be honest with you, at the time, when I was with my boyfriend, now husband, he wasn't even interested in getting a house. He was like, "What? I'm fine. What?" And I knew enough about myself, but I realized I have to live in a house, right? I'm not saying that's everyone needs to live in a house. If you want to live in an apartment, you like luxury apartments, fine. I'm just saying my personality type and what I want for myself, I needed to be in a house in which I am responsible for the decisions that I make. I'm responsible for my environment. I'm responsible for the lawn and blah, blah. I needed to live in a house. And at the time, he was like, I don't care nothing about that. So I said, okay, that's fine. Ann is saving up for a house. And in 2 years, 2 years or whatever, if you want, I'm moving out of the Bronx. I don't know where I'm going, but I know I'm buying a house. And I love you, but I know enough about myself to know that I will leave and find someone else that wants to live in a house. If you don't want to live in a house, this has been a great 8 years together. This has been a great 5 years together. I love you. I thank you. This has been a great interaction.
What? The domicile was more than the person? Like, hold up. Happy New Year, the truth, man. Hold up. I gotta see.
Listen,
now we about to go sideways.
Let's go sideways, bro.
We about to go sideways. We about to go sideways, candidate. Okay. Let me dial myself in for a second.
I love him. I'm telling you, I love him. But it's.
Do you? Did you love him?
Listen.
If I had to live in an apartment, I don't want to deal with you. I don't love you enough to live in an apartment.
Listen,
condo.
I don't want to make it seem like. Remember, I told you about that
pack
tree.
you up.
I'm gonna return to that tree often because there's a lot of things I keep for the sake of the video and the sake of this conversation that I know myself. Right? I don't know everything about myself. I'm still on this journey like everyone else is. Right? I'm not on here telling you I got to do this, nigga. You got to do. I'm not one of those people. But I knew that I had to live in a house. I knew this much about myself, and I'm not even asking this man for a down payment.
Okay.
I knew. So I'm not saying that I have to live in the suburbs. I'm not saying that I have to have a big house. I'm not saying. I just know that, bro. Right now, I'm 5'7". I'm 135 fucking pounds. Right? I'm a small framed woman. I need to feel safe.
And the only way you could feel safe was in a set aside 4-wall unit. You needed to have a separation between you and any neighbors. Like that was the only way.
Okay, remember I told you about the branches and blah, blah, blah. So I lived in an apartment for about 2 years, and downstairs, someone's house got broken into.
Yeah.
I was fine in the apartment. I grew up in a house. My father provided me a house. I grew up in a house. My dad, okay. And I moved out. They got divorced. I ended up living with a nigga. I got a job. I ended up living in an apartment. And someone got their door kicked down in the apartment building. And it just so happened, I told you I worked at Pathmark. The lady that got her door kicked down, years ago, she worked at Pathmark also.
Oh my God.
I was like, yo, what happened? She was like,
what a coincidence.
So I was like, they kicked down your door? She was like, yes. The guy was literally in the Bronx on Matthews Avenue. And then kicked down her door. I don't know if he was on drugs. I don't know what he was. Listen, I'm single at the time. I have a boyfriend, but I'm single at the time. Right?
Safety.
And it fucking scared the hell out of me. What can I do? I told you how much I weigh.
Yeah.
I'm not a big framed woman. I own guns now, but I didn't at the time in New York City. It's very difficult to own a gun.
Yeah. I've heard about that.
And I grew up in a house. So when you're in an apartment, it was a pivotal moment for me. I realized you don't know the person above you, below you, to the left or to the right, or in front of your door. You don't know these people. And it was a pivotal moment for me where I realized I can't live here. I can't feel safe here. you know, you in an apartment building, people hit every button on the thing, and eventually someone will open the door. Right? I can't. If where I live right now, if you're not supposed to be on my property, why the fuck are you on my property? I moved to a
Gotcha.
state in which I can own a gun. I have 4. I'm not trying to say own guns and shit like that, but like,
That's what you needed for safety, to feel safe.
for me,
Yeah, for you. Yeah.
if your thing is something different, I respect that. I respect that. I'm just talking about this. There's a lot that I don't know about myself, even at this age, but there's some things I know about myself. So I didn't give you that background, and I thank you for asking. But that happened, and that's why I was like, I gotta get the fuck up out of here.
Yeah.
I gotta go. You know what I mean?
That's valid. That's valid. Now, again, my response to anybody that was watching was more, again, I've taken a lot of like this gender war conversation, and it's like there's nothing that a man will not get dismissed for. Like, I just listened to them talking about a dog is better, cats are better, I'd rather die alone. And one lady was even talking about a plant. I'm thinking about reacting to this video. She's like, a lot of people rather have plants than a man. And I'm like, oh my God. Like, there's something to constantly hear that the men have no value to a woman, like less than a plant now. Like less than a plant. And it's like, so that was like, if I gotta live in this kind of place, I don't want this man. I'm like, wow, I love him, but I won't
hear that. I hear you.
Yeah, that's how I came. Like, what? No matter how much you love him, if I gotta deal with this, if I gotta do this, if I gotta walk from the garage, you know, if I don't have a lift, I'm like, okay. So again, that's how it lands on me. But I hear totally what you're saying. Feeling safe. Nobody wants to subscribe to a life where you don't feel safe.
Yeah, and I can't do that for nobody, for no one. What's up, Alonzo? He's from Connecticut. Yo, Alonzo, I got a Benz. We gotta talk about that Benz. Where you get your we gotta talk about Connecticut Benz owners, but that's side note.
Yeah, check out, y'all, because we're talking about financial stuff. Nice. Yeah, check out Alonzo Hall. He did a whole breakdown on comparing insurance to the class types of Benzes, so to analogize to people the levels of insurance, so that you can even understand like to comprehend it better. Because a lot of people check out the Mercedes, but maybe you don't check out like term, universal, whole life insurance. And so Alonzo Hall tries to make it super relatable. Yeah, I mean, he's the people's champ as far as insurance and information goes. So, man, I mentioned him earlier as far as financial stuff, like, because that is a branch of financial wellness, is insurance to take care of you and your family. So please go check out his channel to get some practical information, because it's one of the branches that you need to pursue when you're ready.
One of the things I want to also mention before I forget is that if you're like me and you clock in and clock out at your job, you know, as we're getting older, on your insurance, like this, I didn't realize this. I told you in 2019, November 14th in particular, my husband had a stroke, right? And at the time, he had just gotten a new job. And he figured, oh, you know, when you get a new job, you sign up for the healthcare shit, right? And there's a checkbox. You don't even pay much attention to it. That says at all. Like, you're just making all these decisions, not knowing what the hell you're talking about. What's up, Summer? Hey, beautiful. Over the pond. And he was like, oh, whatever. I'm getting older. He checked off some random box. I think, and I could be wrong, has something to do with Aflac and additional insurance, not the regular insurance, but additional insurance in case you were hospitalized long term. Okay. Listen, I might be messing this up. I don't know what he checked off. It was something additional, not just the regular baseline shit. It was something, and it was only like less than $5. Yeah. Right. So long story short, when he had a stroke less than 3 months later, right?
It came in handy.
Bro, $30,000. $30,000 in my account. Right. Now, I never want anyone at all. I can get on this thing and talk about blood pressure and talk about safety, because you don't know if you're going to recover from a stroke. That could have been death. I could have been a fucking widow.
Facts.
Okay. So I'm not on here saying, get that money. Right.
Yeah.
But I'm thankful that he had enough foresight to check off this random box because he was out of work, unable to, everything was on me for temporary, unable to even, you're wearing a button down, nice little button down shirt, unable to button the buttons.
Man.
Okay. So I went to Walmart and I bought a bunch of sweatpants.
Pullovers.
Yes. Because it couldn't use his hand. Right. But it took 6 fucking months for them to give that money. Right. But it was helpful.
Oh, yeah.
$30,000 just in your account like that. So, listen, there's all kinds of things. So that when Alonzo's talking about insurance and I'm over here talking about these different things, there's a lot of ways to try to, we'll get into the steps in terms of saving and what have you, but there's so many branches and leaves and little things that you can do to try your best to secure. And insurance is one of them. Even if,
absolutely.
Yeah, insurance is one of them, man. I've benefited.
Yeah.
Benefit. I've seen the how helpful it can be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I would say it's beneficial if for no other reason to not rely on, because I'll tell somebody else just told me the story. I had no idea. They just told me the story of how somebody had to rely on a GoFundMe to pay for their parents' funeral. And what happens was they couldn't get the funds out in a sufficient time to actually bury their parent. So thankfully, I have a friend that's financially like Candid Ann, who takes care of themselves financially. They were able to loan the money to take care of the proceedings until the money got released from the GoFundMe. So even little things like burying a loved one, if you're relying on a GoFundMe, you're relying on their time frames, how long it takes for them to verify funds, to release funds. There's so many options that you lose by not having your finances in order, not having your paperwork in order. I mean, even as simple as just not even having your beneficiaries assigned properly, not updating your will, little small steps that we could all take that can help save time or effort, like keep again close to home. Family, somebody died, let's say adjacent to the family, and then the siblings start getting into squabbles because paperwork's not in order. Who owns what? Who gets this? That stuff's not in order. Little small steps that we could all do that don't take a lot of time, but because we don't want to talk about it, it sets people's finances and households and estates out of whack.
The fucking stress.
Unnecessary. And it's unnecessary.
Fighting the stress, the goddamn, like, let's not be unrealistic here and talk about like the stress that it involves. Like, you already, like when my mom was going through her shit with the cancer, you already trying to deal with the cancer. On top of that, we over here, I'm not trying to struggle for the mortgage, for the lights.
Yeah.
I can't, damn. And thankfully I didn't have to do that, but let's not be unrealistic as if that's not the reality for some people. So like, guys, as much as I've said, the reason why I come on here to talk about this financial shit is not to floss. It's not to where I want people out here to really understand that, like, it's important for so many reasons, but the stress of not having, you figure it out. Like, I can't even get the words right together because I feel like I don't have a perfect English word to really express what I'm trying to express in terms of like how important, and I'm not talking about being a multimillionaire. I'm talking about just taking care of my mom for 3 months. That's all I'm saying.
Trust me, as somebody who was one of those people who was, again, I'm opening myself up to judgment. I've been a poor financial steward for a really long time. Sitting on money is not something I'm familiar with. So this is literally like year one of being able to have money sitting in my account without spending it. Like literally year one in my 40s, because if I have money, I'm spending it. I'm going to have fun. I'm going to do something to alleviate my stress. Having something sitting there so that, if something does come up, it is a level of comfort that it affords you that you cannot anticipate if you've never done it. And I know many of you were talking to people who have done this. You've had money sitting there. It didn't help. Wasn't enough. I know somebody else was like me. They're just spenders. A lot of us are just spenders. And I'm talking to those people, because you don't have to stay that spender that blows every dollar that comes in. I know people that are still like that at 40, 50, 60. Some people never stop, but I promise you from experience, there's a little peace of mind to know that if something really crazy happens, like, because they said 60% of Americans don't have like $400 to $800 for an emergency at any given time. Like, I am just now within the last year stepping outside of that. Like, that's weird. You know what I'm saying? So it's weird that 60% of us just do not have money like $400, $600 at any given time for an emergency. But a lot of us live like that. And just being able to set aside something. Maybe it's just for your kid's birthday. Maybe you don't have that Christmas club account at your credit union that you can save for Christmas, so everybody spends that one last check. But I know, like this last Christmas, there's some people that got put out of their apartments. Like, there's a whole apartment complex that shut down right at Christmas. So what do you do if you so you spend everything you had on Christmas, but the landlord hasn't been taken care of, so they shut down your complex and forcing you to move. Now you have moving expenses that you didn't anticipate. You need that cushion. You need those little. It's practical, and I think that's what you're trying to say. Like, it's a practical matter. Not some sort of I'm trying to be like live some lavish lifestyle. Right. You just need to have something set aside. So if the car breaks down, or you need a down payment, or something random happens and you never know. At our ages, in our 30s and 40s, something random's gonna come up. Yes, I promise you. My mother worked 30 years for the state, over 30 years. Had insurance, did everything right. And for some reason, the people that do to her Medicare, what's that stuff? The Medicare, Medicaid, is this something for the when you're elderly? She's about 70. Now they even though she was paying, they stopped accepting it and started refunding her money. So then she didn't have coverage. So then if you need something, you've got to pay out of pocket until they get that straightened out. Now, once they get it straightened out, of course, they might reimburse you. But you can't help random stuff that's going to happen. Maybe. But if you don't have it on hand, your doctor's appointments, your co-pays, glasses, like you said, teeth, you have a dental issue that might happen. You just bite down on something, but somebody at Popeyes had a bone in something that wasn't supposed to have a bone. You never know. Not the bone. But that happens. If somebody will crack a tooth, you know what I'm saying? And tires are about $150 a pop on the low end. Don't get something to pop. Don't lose a tire. Let me read it. I literally had to get an oil change for tires and fix my radio. It was $4K. Next day, pop my new tire, $400. The next week, my battery died, $400. See, I can't do the Mercedes. I couldn't even possibly.
Hey, listen, that Mercedes life is nice. We'll talk about that one day. I don't know. That Mercedes life is nice. Listen, this S-Class nice, but listen, I've been driving a 2007 Honda for 16 years. That's the Mercedes that I have was gifted to me. Let's not get this fucked up. I'm not on here sporting like I bought the bitch and I got it like that. It was gifted to me.
That's what's up.
Okay. And I'm thankful. But I drive a Honda, 2007, 16 years old. Okay.
Reliable. Man.
Yes, reliable. Insurance is reasonable. Gas is reasonable. But yeah. So listen, man, this hour and a half has been so quick and easy. I can't even believe an hour and a half has been by. We even get into the steps yet.
Yeah, we didn't get into the steps. So let's get into the steps. I do want to play this video. It's like 2.5 minutes.
Yeah.
Now this is again like for somebody that's starting from zero, like a person like me. You're starting from your paycheck to paycheck, like literally paycheck to paycheck. This is a video to show you how to possibly get your first $1,000. It could be like the stimulus that they did. You're getting ready to W-2s are coming. W-2s are coming. Like the first $1,000, something that you could do with your first $1,000. That's what these next two videos are going to be about. Brother Von Bryant is in the building.
Oh, it's my brother right there. Love you, Brian. Yeah. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to everybody. It's in the chat, man. Appreciate your all for coming through for this talk.
Yes.
But again, what you can do, start a business for yourself on the side while you're still working for like $1,000 to $1,500, which many of us can do. Again, saving for a year, because again, Candid Ann is going to talk about like a savings plan. but also like you might get a sum like taxes. There's something you can do. You can possibly save up or get a lump sum, $1,500, and you can start your own business. But this is one lady's journey.
Yeah, just something. So let's go.
My name is Jasmine Taylor. I'm 31 from Amarillo, Texas, and my business brought in over $800,000 last year. I just remember like wondering how I was going to make it through the next month. Like, I had a degree, no job, student loan debt hanging over my head, credit card debt hanging over my head. And January 1st came and I was like, I will never be in this position again. And that's when I started researching ways to budget, and I found cash budgeting. I believe that my mindset changed in December of 2020. I had just got through Christmas, and my sister died probably 4 years previous, so I've been full-time taking care of my niece that works with me now. I was working at the freestanding emergency room, and then I lost that job actually over the holidays. When you finally get access to money, at least in my circumstance, everything I wanted to buy it. I have bipolar disorder, so at the beginning of my journey, I understood that a lot of my impulse spending was tied to that. I started tracking my expenses and being really diligent about budgeting and cash stuffing. I was not only able to change my finances, but I was able to change my mindset and my relationship with money. So the first day of the month, I go and deposit everything I've cash stuffed into the bill account. And as the month goes on, everything is direct deposited. The first time I had been able to save $1,000. Like, I'd never been able to hold on to $1,000. It really empowered me more than anything else was, okay, well, you did that. What else can we do? And so I went and bought me a Cricut, and I bought the supplies for the Cricut, the mats and stuff like that. And I put the rest into inventory, into purchasing my Shopify plan for the next couple of months, some shipping supplies. This one's pretty cute with the piggies and the wallets. And I also like fries before, guys.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah. I love that video. I sent that video in the Discord like a little while back.
Mm-hmm.
And what I loved about that video is that she made a way out of no way.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Made a way out of no way. Like, she was on something. She figured, let me save my money. And on top of it, not only am I going to save my money, but I'm going to help others save their money, and that's going to bring me more money, right? I love that for her. What I've also realized when I watch interviews, and I'm gonna go back to Cat again, not just Cat Williams, that interview, but also other interviews. Have you noticed while on YouTube, like, we're on YouTube, right? And you've seen Shannon Sharp on YouTube also, like, he got the same goddamn YouTube I got.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That lady, what's her name on Atlanta Housewives, the popular one that had the sex video, Candy.
Mimi or Candy?
Yeah. She's an amazing singer, right? She had multiple businesses, but she also, on top of it, came out with a YouTube. I think she had some kind of like Candy at Night or something like that, and flipped it into a business, and when she sold like sexual, I don't know, things or something, or I don't know, some kind of thing, some kind of pleasure thing or whatever.
Bedroom candy,
right. And so why am I bringing this up? I'm bringing this up because I know, I thought, oh, damn, you got money already, you rich, you already got it. But there's a reason why Cat Williams is on here speaking freely with his chest out, and Taraji P. Henson is crying, right? She is a wonderful actress, beautiful, respectable, but she's relying on other people, just like me, relying on other people to pay her. So I love this story with this woman who decided, like, you know what? I'm fucked up out here. You know what I mean? I ain't got no money. I lost my damn job. But she made out a way out of no way. She figured out how to budget and she put other people on and she made it a business. I love Vivica Fox because people might make fun of her, but if you know, she's been out here she sells hair products. She's been producing. That woman, all right? I would me and my ignorance, not knowing much about Hollywood, I would assume, oh, that's Vivica. She got money. But now as I'm getting older and I'm learning, I'm hearing the Taraji P. Henson stories, I'm realizing they ain't really got money like that. I probably made more money than she did. Because after she done paid the taxes and after she done paid, I mean, I don't know what her expenses are like or whatever.
Yeah,
I
they
don't
all got teams.
Yeah, the team, the makeup, the hair. I ain't got none of that shit. Right. So I'm just so long story short, I'm just saying, like, I love that for her. I love the fact that she made a way out of no way. And you never know what you can do to put yourself in a better financial situation. What's up? Is that Dory?
Yeah.
Is that how I say that?
Yes, Dory with the face reveal. What's going on, my guys in the building? I see you. Yeah, so I totally agree with you. I know you said you had to step away. I'm gonna carry it if you need to step away for a minute.
Just for a second.
That lady's video. I thought it was important because a lot of us, like myself, again, I'm talking from my experience. I always told myself that it couldn't be done. Now, what I understand, there's two things. There's what can be done and then what I'm willing to do. So that's the two parts. What can be done is just about anything. That lady started from a deficit like me. She was trying to find out a solution for her own personal problem. I have a problem saving. That was her struggle. I can't save because of my spending habits. So she was seeking a solution for herself. Found cash stuffing as opposed to trying to manage everything, because everybody doesn't use tools the same way as effectively. Everybody can't do the apps on the phone. Everybody can't keep a ledger. But for whatever reason, a lot of people can work with the cash stuffing. It keeps things organized in their head differently. All of us are not the same. So we need different tools to get the different results that we need for ourselves. So yeah, she started cash stuffing for herself. What she realized then, how hard it was for her to get a hold of cash stuffing products. So if I can't get a hold of it, other people probably can't get a hold of it. Now there's an opportunity, because if I have cash stuffing products like I'm looking for, if I find the source, if I find the plug, I can then become distro. I can be the distribution hub. I can be the person that's putting this out here for other people to solve their same problem that I'm struggling with. So she's two birds, one stone. I'm learning to save money. I'm also at the same time learning to make money. So at the same time, she's learning to stop her outflow. She's learning to stop bleeding and hemorrhaging money. She's learning to bring money in. So it's both sides of the coin. Outflow, income. She saw both sides, and all of us, whatever your struggle is, if you have learned to solve a struggle of yours, whether it's eating, whether it's financial, whether it's whatever your solution was for whatever problem you were struggling with that was keeping you blocked up in life, that's a solution for somebody else too. Now, how to market that, how to mass produce it, that's on you. Like my second part, I just what I had to get real with myself. I don't want to do the work. Like I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot that has helped me grow as a human being.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to take all the steps that it would take to impart that to other people. I don't want to build it out in a structure. I don't want to write a book. I don't want to have somebody proof it. I don't want to go through all the steps and the possible rejection. I don't want the emotional load of doing the labor on that back end. Just having enough for myself is okay with me. And that's something that a lot of us have to accept too. Some people are not built for the entrepreneurial path. Some of us don't have the emotional resolve and resilience. I just don't have it. I have too many other struggles to want to dive into entrepreneurial land.
That's fair.
That may be too. Yeah. We got to be fair about this. Yeah. Some people, like I was watching this video a long time ago, and they were kind of like down and poor people. And they said it in the most professional and eloquent way. A lot of these people, and they didn't say these people, but these people rings in my head. A lot of these people prefer the expediency and this immediate. It was something like expediency and immediacy of cash. And I was like, the way they said it, it was like they use these big words, but they're just saying they need their money now. I was like, they feel so pressed. They need their money now. Some people just need, I need to know I'm going to go in here, I'm going to do my 8 hours, and I'm going to get cash in my hand. Some people need that. No ambiguity. There's no uncertainty. I'm going to get that right now. Didn't get the notification. I get you. I feel you. But other people are willing to step out into the unknown and take some risk, drop some money, invest some time. Because she was talking about a lot of these people that are doing these entrepreneurial endeavors, it might be 16 hours a day. Everybody's not cut for that. Maybe you just want to do 8 hours a day, but it's your choice to make.
Yes.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Yes.
But let's not be delusional. Let's not say the opportunities aren't there, because whatever you're struggling with in your life is an opportunity for you, but it's also an opportunity for you to outreach to others if you solve that problem for yourself.
And it might not be forever. It might be 16 hours for a year, for 2 years, but it might not. Eventually, you get to ease up. You know, I love Quantum's comment here. She said something about like this is an old school way of
it is.
Right. And so one of the things I want to talk about, right, when I talk about saving money, so like I've listened to Susie Orman, I've listened to Dave, what's that guy's name? Dave Ramsey.
Dave Ramsey, yep.
Right. I've listened to this book. There's many things I've tried to implement and try to figure out what works best for me. And there's multiple ways there's not one right way. There's multiple ways to get to the damn thing. Right. So whichever way you choose, just choose something. Just get on something and choose something. However, what I did was, instead of doing these envelope systems, I just did it digitally. Right. So when I get paid, I'll share with you guys some of the things that I do. I'm going to save 10% off the top. I don't give a fuck what's going on. If my paycheck is $3,000, $300 got to go into a savings account. I don't care. Has to go into a savings account. You got to pay yourself first, right? Granted, I don't have kids. I don't have certain things about. I wasn't always able to save 10%. I'm talking about right now. There's times when I was only able to save $25. Let me not front. That's all I had extra. $25, okay? $50. You know, sometimes you get like a bonus and you didn't expect that paycheck. So like I get paid every 2 weeks. If you get paid every 2 weeks, twice a year, you're going to get a third paycheck because of the way that the month falls. So my bills are balanced on 2 paychecks. So when every 6 months, when I get that third paycheck, that's extra money that my bills are not calculated on. So I can do something with it. I can either allocate it towards savings, vacation, fixing something, paying down on something. You know, these are just tips I want people to think about. Like, I don't know how often everyone gets paid or whatever, but like you try to do these kind of things to set yourself up for success, right? So, yeah. In addition to saving something, I remember when I first got my first job, I love lipstick. I love perfume. I love all things that take care of my person. I'm drinking wine now, but I'm not like a drinker. I'm not a smoker, whatever. I love showers. I love lipstick. I love lotion. So I would treat myself to, I can't pronounce the company's name, L'Occitane or whatever, child. They make expensive shit, right? Lotions and shit, right? I used to work at Three World Financial Center. That was where Lehman Brothers was located. When you go downstairs, anyone from New York that went to the Trade Center know that when you go downstairs to the basement, there was stores down there, right? There was Sbarro, it was a music store. There was like these very fine, all kind of boutiques and shit. And so what I would do is I would treat myself to a CD. It was $25, $20. I would treat myself to, that was my gift to myself. Bitch, you worked 2 weeks. You know, you didn't act like I don't even get into this. You made it 2 weeks. You know, you didn't get fired. I saved money and my gift was a new album. I enjoyed. I had new music for next 2 weeks till I got paid again. You know, it doesn't have your treats to yourself don't have to be extravagant. Yeah. I loved music. I loved lipstick. So sometimes my treat was I'd buy myself a new lipstick. Now listen, you can buy lipstick. I know you don't wear lipstick. At least I don't think you wear lipstick. No issues if you do, Arshawn. Okay, you're muted.
I was about to say I got them supple lips. I might have
You got
to
them
color
supple
them
lips,
up a little
bro?
bit.
Okay. Hey, that's my big brother right there. Enough love and respect to Mr. Bernard Shaw. That's my big brother. For real.
Hey, Happy New Year, Bernard.
Happy New Year. One of the things that I would do is I would treat myself to new lipstick. Now you can buy lipstick at the drugstore for like $5 or whatever, but I would spend $20, right? Oh my God, $20 on a lipstick, $40 on a lipstick. But when you think about $40, this is my treat to myself. It's a small price to pay compared to really blowing money. I mean, no lipstick really cost $40. It was more like maybe 20 something dollars, 22, 28 or whatever, but that's not a lot of money. And I was still able to find a way to treat myself and still save money. Like a new album, a new Tribe Called Quest album, and that thing broke out. Listen.
Yeah.
Right? That took me, so I would go to listen, there's ways out here to enjoy yourself and to still be financially responsible and still enjoy life. I'm not saying that this has to be like suffering for 2 years. Everyone doesn't have to suffer for 2 years. Enjoy some of life. But I'm just trying to say that, like, if you can manage the because I bet you, like, when you told me that you had like all these different electronics and you didn't even open them up, what was the joy? Like, if you bought a new album for $20 as opposed to spending all that money, like, would you have still felt the same excitement and happiness?
I don't know. I'm gonna tell you, it was hard. It was hard for me to get to that realization that I wasn't even. There's something that tells me I want this thing. This seems like a good idea. Like this thing seems like a great idea, and I think this attributes. I think this is a tribute to a lot of things. Whatever this is looks attractive. I think the Bible calls it like lust of the eye.
Yes.
Like lust of the eye. It looks good. It looks good on paper. I want it. I satisfy that want by acquiring it. But I don't want to do any of the responsibility to take care of that thing. I think that's where the breakdown is. I want it. I got it. The issue is now I have to take care of it.
Maintenance.
Just
like the
car.
And
I think that's where the problem is. So I got that satisfaction of acquiring the thing that I wanted, but I didn't need it.
Right.
And a lot of times I'm not going to use it.
Right.
Like, so like people that have like 20 cars, what are you going to do? You can only drive one. You got to maintain all that. And so that's what I was doing with electronics. And I was trying to, and okay, yeah, just snitching on myself. Like I remember Bree and Yellow were like, they were like flabbergasted. I was like, well, at one point there were about 7 screens, like 7 television screens in here in my apartment.
What?
But listen, okay, listen to me. Listen, there are about 7 television screens, like between like the different floors and like devices like iPads, laptops, TVs. I've computer screen. 1, 2, 3. I've got 3 for sure that I use all the time, like just personally, just like in my one room. Because behind this curtain is a 65-inch. Like that's the one I game on, right? But I've also got like a 43. I've got like, because there's a screen here. There's my laptop here, and then there's another screen I don't even use over here. Like there's the monitor over here that's never even on anymore. Like I have a waste. Like there's a wastefulness to it, but it feels like I might have a need. Let's satisfy the need, but it's really a want. I want to have extra, but it's not. So I end up satisfying that craving, but I end up wasting the money. The money could be utilized for a need later, but it's going for a want now, and that's the problem. I think a lot of us end up dealing with that. So, and again, the 65-inch right here behind the curtain,
65.
I barely use it. I barely use it because I only use it for gaming. And I haven't played the game in like a week. So it's like a 65-inch that gets used like a couple times a week. What's the point? Why would you spend money? See what I'm saying? Like it's crazy. When you hear it, it's crazy. And that's when you were talking when you talked to me about saving, and I looked and I saw all the packages that I'd never opened. And again, I just gave over $100 of unopened electronics away. Like there's a problem But I was like, I'm the problem. It wasn't them. Nobody made me do it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I could have used that money because when needs come up, I could have used the money.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of the 65, I've got a 43 or 50. I could use. They're all perfectly fine.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought I needed the 65 so I could see when I play the game, I could see everything on the 65. But I barely play games now.
Wow.
But it seemed like a good idea at the time.
Wow.
So I just
Yeah.
I bought a 50-inch for my nephew. It might have been 43 or 50. I don't know. But it was only 1080. I just took it over to my homeboy's house and dropped it off. So that was another TV that I purchased.
You just gave it away?
I just took it over and it's going to be in his garage. It's going to be a second TV for his garage. That's excess.
Wow.
Excess.
Yeah.
Excess. That's what I'm saying. So there's a problem mentally that a lot of us adopt, thinking that we need more than we have. But I learned the hard way. And when the rent went up and I had to pay more and I had it available, and I was like, how did I have it? But I was always tight on money. Like I was always tight on money, but I'm like, but when the rent and I had to pay more in rent, and I was like, I had it, and I wasn't like nothing really changed. And I was like, how did that happen? It didn't make sense. Like because rent went up 52%.
52%?
Right. So
that's
if it jumps up, but if it jumps up and nothing really changed in my life, I'm like, then something's off, because I was always tight on money. Yeah, I was always tight on money. So I was like, oh shoot, I've been just blowing so much money. I've been blowing 52%. That's how much money I was just wasting on stuff because it was there. That could have been saved. Saved or invested. But I've been doing that for so long. It was such a habit that I thought those were things I needed, but I never actually considered. That's problematic. But I had to accept that was me.
Yeah.
I was blowing money.
Mm-hmm.
And now that it's not things like was inflation, things are actually getting tight. Now things are actually getting tight, and I'm actually have to make sacrifices. But it's just now hitting me.
Right.
But I'm still able to siphon stuff off here and there to save.
Right.
So it's so weird. But I promise you, most of the stuff we deal with is self-inflicted.
Yes.
It's so crazy.
Yes. And I'm not on here to say like it's a nasty mind.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. I promise you.
Dave Ramsey, I'm not what I like about, I also follow Dave Ramsey to some extent, like I'm big on telling people, find whatever works for you. There's more than one way to get, if you want to follow Susie Orman and that works for you, fine. You want to follow Dave Ramsey, fine. You want to read this book and follow the principles in this book, fine. Just get on some kind of path, have a plan, right? You get a TV.
Yeah, it's reckless. It was reckless spending. Reckless spending.
Yes. So for me, what I end up doing when I get paid, like I told you, at this moment, I save 10%. But back in the day, I just saved what I could save. Right. There's a lot of things that I do. I'll be honest with you. I'll go through that. There's a lot of things that I do in order to save up. And so every year I try to save $10,000. Right. Just because I have a house. Right. So I had to put $20,000 while my mom was on chemo on a roof because my shit was leaking.
Ooh.
Right? A roof is not inexpensive. So when you have a house, I'm like, I want to buy a house. I need a house. I can't live in an apartment. That shit comes with responsibilities. Let's be real. Right. I don't worry about a roof when I have an apartment. That's the landlord's freaking problem. I want to be Candid Ann. I want to live in a house. That shit comes with responsibilities. It comes with maintenance. So because I understood that and I understand what that means and the sacrifice that I have to make, I'm always saving money because I don't know when something's going to break down. I don't know when roof lasts about 10 years or so, but there's always, when you have a house, there's always some kind of maintenance. Right. So, yeah, while I was on FMLA, while my mom was going through chemo, I was still able to put a roof on my house for $20,000. Right. And I put it on a credit card so I can get them points. And I paid the credit card back immediately. Yeah, because I want a flight. I'm not paying these people my money. I got the money sitting in the bank account, but I'm still going to be smart about it. So I put it on a credit card, got the points. I paid the credit card off immediately. So it's a win-win-win to get as much, to suck out as much as I can out of the situation. Now, in order to get that $20,000, I saved up for years. Arshawn, my dad came over and put tar on the roof so that he can get me over for a little while. So I don't want anyone to ever think that like I'm just out here. Oh, I got it. I spent 20,000. There was tar on my shit for a couple of years until I could get the money saved up. Okay. I had been so used to pinch for so long that I had. Yeah. There's some guilty feeling about that. Like, yeah, sometimes when I have to spend a bit of money, I'll sit on it for a little while because I'm so not used to. It's unnerving. It's unnerving. So when I get paid, my money has a plan, and I hope that no matter what you do in your life, that whether you listen to Susie Orman, whether you take up Dave Ramsey, whether you do this book, it's all basically the same concept. Live on less than what you make, pay down your debt. If you can stay out of debt, once you pay off your debt, right, and you get to a level where you can keep yourself debt free, try to live debt free, right? This is a lot of mental things that you're talking about because you talked about the needs, the wants, the satisfaction, but if you can, I realize that sometimes buying something expensive and buying something simple, the pleasure that it gives us is sometimes quite similar. Right? My Tribe Called Quest album gave me a lot of pleasure for weeks. When I got The Carnival by Wyclef, I love that album. That's an amazing album. That thing gave me happiness for weeks on end. Right? Janet Jackson, Velvet Rope, when that came out, happiness for weeks on end. $20, $25. Right? So you can find ways to give yourself, I'm not saying completely deprive yourself and never live, but when you know that you have a plan and you're doing it for just a few years, right, to give yourself the space to say, you know what, I can be there for my mom. I didn't even know that was going to happen. I can be there for you can do that. So I save a portion of my money for my birthday. Listen, when you are a dual income, no children, ain't nobody for Christmas. I got nothing.
Dink.
Yeah, dink life, right? I got nothing. No one gave me anything for Christmas, Arshawn. I got nothing at all. Nothing, because I don't have any children. You got a good job. You a nurse, girl. You got good money, girl. So ain't nobody gonna give you shit for Christmas.
Family, husband?
Nobody. Nothing. I'm not getting nothing.
Right.
We don't really celebrate. My husband, his family, they have kids, so he buys Christmas gifts for the children. And I typically feel like Christmas is for kids. Right. So him and I, we celebrate our birthdays together. We celebrate our anniversary and things like that. Right. $1. And it was...
Wow.
It's hard to swallow. Yeah. Look at that.
$1 is basically worth a penny based on the way this inflation's happened. That's crazy.
Yeah. Crazy. What's up, man? How you doing? I see you in a minute. How you doing, brother? How you doing? So, I know. I just want to say, if you can find a plan, no matter which plan you take, whether it's Susie Orman, this book, Dave Ramsey, or whatever, So what I do is, every paycheck that I get, I put away a small amount of money. You know how you have Christmas funds?
Mm-hmm.
And so instead of doing a Christmas fund, it's just a bank account. I do it in July because my birthday is in July. So I'll put away right now, I forgot what it was. It comes out automatically, maybe $50, maybe $100. I can't remember, but it comes out automatically so that the first day in July, it gets dumped into my checking account, and I have a couple $1,000, maybe $2, maybe $1. I don't even know what it is, to just waste. Guilt-free, because I saved up all year to just treat myself. Why? Because when you are single, you have no kids, people, listen, I'm appreciative of the phone calls, happy birthday or whatever, but I want stuff too. Shit. I want a gift. Right? So I have to gift myself. And if that means I have to go to, I like perfume. Some of these perfumes are expensive. Right. And it might sound like, Jesus Christ, $500 for a perfume. What the fuck? but I'm gifting myself something that I've saved up all year for, and it's not breaking the bank because the money was set aside. It doesn't have to be perfume. For it could be a purse, it could be shoes, it could be electronics, it could be a 65-inch. I don't know what them things cost right now. I don't know what they cost. But
they kind of coming down. You can get them for around $300 right about
$100.
So,
Wow.
$300, yeah.
But whatever it is that you want to purchase for yourself, you save up for it. So I have an account in which when I get paid, a certain amount of money goes towards my house expenses. A certain amount goes towards my birthday because I want to be happy. I want to treat myself. A little bit amount goes towards vacation. I have a little account called Andrea's Vacation Fund because when I go on vacation, I don't want to come back to a bill. I want to come back with everything being paid. So I have a few $1,000s. Maybe it's like by the time I go on vacation, it'll be $4,000 or $5,000. I'm not spending $4,000 or $5,000 on vacation, right? So I have this special card that when I go on vacation, I swipe, I buy what the fuck I feel like buying, I eat, I do whatever I want to do. And when I come back, I ain't got to worry about nothing because it was all already pre-planned. Right. The whole idea is really just planning in advance, whether you want to go on a cruise, a Disney vacation, or whatever it is, whether you got kids or you don't have kids. I'm just saying, like, just a little bit of plan in advance. Yeah, just a little bit of planning in advance. This way you can it's a vacation. Do you want to be thinking about money? I want to just live. I want to just relax. Shit, I got $4,000 to blow in a week.
Yeah.
We in Cancun. We in the Bahamas. What's up?
Yeah. And it's scalable. Like, again, everybody's not on your level, but maybe you can get $400. Like, you going on a weekend trip and it's $400 that you can blow. Like, I promise you, all this stuff is scalable to wherever you are.
Yes.
Like, unless you're on like welfare. Like, okay, you get the government money, you got whatever they give you. But if you're working and earning, like, there are ways to increase your output. And like, just real quick, I would say, because again, I'm a house body, like that lady with the house. I'm a stuffer. You saw she was a stuffer. We stuff in more than one way. But because I'm an inside, so I'm a stuffer, not a pocket stuffer, but I stuff my mouth. There are ways that you can save money if you're a house cat, if you're a house body. I'm gonna tell you, a lot of us feel like we have to pay all those subscription fees, like the Disney Plus, the HBO Max. I promise you, if you are willing to wait a month or so, all of them go on sale half off. Like, sign up. If you signed up, just cancel your subscription, let it lapse. They are always going to send you a please come back promotion that you're going to get at the very least half off. I'm getting Hulu and Disney. It is the ad supported, but I'm getting both of them for $5.
Wow.
So as opposed to like $10 each or whatever. I don't even know what it is. I wanted Netflix, but I waited with Netflix until I could get Stars and Netflix for an entire year for $75 through my phone.
What?
Exactly. So you can save money. So that's for Netflix, right? Netflix is like $20 a month. I'm paying like less than $7 a month for both that and Stars. Like, there are ways to do the things you want to do at a cost that works within your budget if you're willing to look into it. So that way you could put the money away for these other things. I promise you. I was somebody that was on Spectrum. I was paying at the most $120 just for internet, or $70 on the low end. I switched over to Verizon. The max it is $50. Like, so even that is like savings that you can start to pocket elsewhere or reallocate. Even if you can't save it, that's money that can now go to diapers, toilet paper, insurance, gas, whatever,
lubricant,
your personal lubricant stash. Like, we got to make those decisions, and it's hard. I promise you, it's hard to think about if you're one of those people that's in a bind. It's hard to sit there and think about ways that I can save money because you're typically emotionally overwhelmed. That's emotionally overwhelmed. But this stuff is doable. And again, it took Candid Ann to be like, man, you need to start working on this stuff. I was like, I don't even feel like working on this stuff. But I was like, you know what?
Yeah.
Like, let's work on this stuff together. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't have to. It can be overwhelming one step at a time. Like, I feel like once you do one thing in your life, you realize, damn, that wasn't so hard. Let me try it in another area. And it kind of snowballs into all these areas where you can really just save money. And, listen, in addition, we talked about saving money, but also making more money is, something that we think about. I'm not sure if Mandel is still here. I think about Mandel because he loves working out. We all know Mandrell works out, right? But he turned it into a business.
Yes.
You know, I mentioned to you in the back chat that I loved photography. It was one of my very first hobbies. And I, for a couple of years, was a wedding photographer. So, you know, I wasn't some big wedding photographer, but that's how it got me free. Not free. I earned the money, and the money I put back into the business so that I can buy equipment, so that I can buy bigger cameras, more lenses, more, you know, things like that. And so I turned my hobby. So like whether Mandrell works, whether he makes money or not, he's still going to work out. Right.
Facts.
Exactly. So there's things that we can all do to some extent. Like there's one of the videos. Did you cue up the car
The detailing?
detailing?
I got that.
Yeah. So can I tell you how I found out about that? Because I don't know anything about car detailing. So I told you guys I was gifted this Mercedes Benz by my father. And I took it to the car wash, and the emblem on an S-Class, the emblem is in the front. It's not like flat. So the emblem came back all bent and shit. What's going on? You know, I'm from a Honda Civic. I was like, oh God. So I was like, you know what? I would just rather, for my Honda Civic, I just wash it myself. I play music. I love music. I love to dance. I'm not saying I'm a good dancer, but I love to dance. I play music. I wash my car. I clean the inside. I clean the outside. What was that face?
Because you're from the Caribbean talking about, I'm not a good dancer. Stop it.
Oh,
exactly.
But, you know, I would play my music outside there in my backyard, have a nice little day in the sun, clean my car out. I clean it like in spring. I clean it right before fall. I do a whole like thorough thing. And, but for the Mercedes, I was like, oh, let me take it to the car wash. And when I took it to the car wash, I was like, this is not as good as what I do. This is not as thorough as what I do. So then I started thinking, like, okay, for luxury cars, what do people do? Because, look, I was using Dawn on my goddamn Honda because I didn't really care too much.
I mean, it's 2007. I ain't going to judge you, but I'm like, Dawn.
I didn't care. I was like, look, I'm just trying to clean this bitch, right? I think I was using Dawn or Castile soap. But for this car that my dad gave me, I was like, let me put some respect on this thing. Let me find out how people with luxury cars properly clean their cars. So I went on YouTube and I saw like people detailing cars and like, you know, just getting into how to properly clean a car thoroughly, right? And then it somehow, the algorithm led me into that this is a business. That people with luxury cars typically don't want to send their cars through the drive-through. People with luxury cars typically are older, right? And they don't want to wash their car. Like I'm young and I'm able and I'm fit and I can wash my car and I enjoy the activity of it. But they're older. They got a bit of a belly. They got a little problem. They don't have the agility to wash their cars on their own.
I mean, that's true.
Right? But they still want it to look nice. So they would rather, and they got the money. So they rather call someone, pay $200 for a proper detailing inside and outside and get it done right in the comfort of their backyard. So I was like, damn, people are doing that. Now, I only got into this because I was trying to figure out how to clean my own newly gifted luxury vehicle. I wasn't even thinking about a business. And then the algorithm led me into, holy shit, people are out here making money, like good money, more money than I make as a nurse saving lives. All right, so if you keep the video.
Yeah, just real quick, like along that same line, like I said, about solving a problem of yours. Like I talked about the services. I'm a cord cutter type person. So I went into the fire stick. Like a lot of those electronics are like streaming devices. I bought just about everything. I promise you, I have about 6 or 7 unopened higher end fire sticks right now. Like right now, just in a drawer. A whole fire stick drawer unopened. I've got an NVIDIA Shield used, but it's You know what I'm saying? Them things are expensive. Anyway, because of my cord cutting, I learned how to to add the apps and the services that people could get a lot of that streaming stuff for free if they were willing to, but nobody wants to do all the labor for it. So I started selling Fire Sticks or programming Fire Sticks for money. So my best day on the Fire Stick grind was I made it in about 2 hours. I made about $250. And that's good money. That's good money.
But
But
money I make as a nurse, bro, and I had to do a lot of
that's
get the motherfucking nursing degree. Listen.
I mean, I'm not going to deny that my drawers may or may not be fire. You know what I'm saying? They might be fire. You know what I'm saying? You got to get in them to find out. I ain't gonna confirm or deny. I'm just saying you got to get in them to find out. But I'm gonna keep this video because, like we talked about with the stuffer, maybe you have a more manual. You want to get your hands on things.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to stuff. You don't want to do orders online. Maybe you want to get out there in the fresh air to earn money. And this is a way to get that done.
If you're looking to start a mobile detailing business, but you're not sure what equipment you need, you have found the right video. And this one, my buddy Stefan is going to walk us through all the equipment you're going to need in order to start your business on a budget.
So now I want to go ahead and talk to you about a few supplies that we have that's going to be able to allow you to be successful at your mobile detailing setup. The first thing we're going to talk about here is our air compressor. The air compressor is only 2 gallons, I believe, 2.5 gallons, because why? Obviously, if you're starting off in a mobile detailing van or a sedan, you don't necessarily want to buy the biggest air compressor that you can find, obviously for spacious purposes. So a 2-gallon air compressor can do you some justice. This one is a rigid. You can get it from Home Depot for around $130, just depending on the area that you're in. We also have a hose that's around 50 foot so that we don't have to keep traveling the air compressor from station to station. We can set it up in one spot and use the air hose as mobility rather than carrying around a heavy air compressor. The Walt drill. This drill is mostly for carpets. It gets up the stains per se, or just heavy embedded dirt into the carpets. It's going to make it easier than using this. We still have this, the traditional brush to, scrub the carpets and things of that nature. But when you have a drill that's, faster than this, obviously you want to cut down on the physicality of the job. So you want to get you one of these and, a couple of utility detailing brushes just for hard to reach spaces. The bucket methodology and things that we use 4 buckets, as you can see. 1 bucket for tires, 1 bucket for interior, then 2 buckets for washing. We don't like to necessarily use 1 bucket for everything because now you're transferring dirt and all the contaminants into places that you really don't want to. So we use a tire bucket just for tires and undercarriages and things that has rocks and sand, so that we don't transfer that back into the paint, causes obviously swirls and scratches. Or why else would you be hand washing if you're just going to hand wash the incorrect way? You're going to need tire and wheel cleaner. You're going to need something very heavy duty to pull off the old oils, tire dressings, just nasty gookiness. You're going to need something heavier than an all-purpose cleaner to remove those things. You're also going to need an all-purpose cleaner for the wheel wells and floor mats and things of that nature, just because you don't need heavy-duty things for the wheel wells. So all-purpose cleaner and heavy-duty wheel and tire cleaner is something that you're going to need for your tire bucket. You can get those things generally from your local Advanced Auto Parts or Raleigh's, and they're generally range around $10 to $15 per product. The next thing you're going to need is a steam cleaner to rain. The next thing, obviously you're going to need a vacuum. You can get that along with the steam cleaner. Each one is going to cost you $100. $100 for the vacuum, $100 for the steam cleaner. You can get that steam cleaner at Harbor Freight, or you can buy a more expensive steam cleaner. What's the best pressure washer? We went through 1,000 pressure washers. I will not name you each brand that we went through, but we have found one that has seemingly given us the best bang for our buck, and that is the Sunjo professional grade version. I think we paid around $550 for the pressure washer, and it's lasted us for about a year and a half. Last but not least, you're also going to need a ladder, a step ladder. You don't necessarily need the biggest ladder, but a step ladder. So here in my wash bucket, I have literally 4 different tools that we use. 2 for washing. We do not use any sort of brushes for washing. We use this for the bottoms because we will not put our wash mitts on the bottom, simply for the fact of we don't want to transfer what's on the bottom of the car up to the top, creating swirl marks. And then we have 1 more mitt for bugs here. Keep all those things in mind. You can be able to start your detailing company with, if you don't have the money to buy a van and you have whatever you have, a sedan, a truck, whatever, start there, and then you can take around $1,000 to start your detailing company. It's very, very, very inexpensive. But if you do have the money to do it correctly, around $20,000 would set you up correctly, and it'll have you in the best possible way to succeed at your mobile detailing company. So thank you for joining us here on this channel.
That's so fucking dope, yo. Like, can you imagine? So, when I talk about this book, thank you for stopping by, Vaughn. When I talk about this book and I talk about save that $1,000, $1,000 is going to be for, for emergencies, right? But a portion of that is to save up money to start a business. I'm not telling you that this business has to be around for 30, 40 fucking years. It
Right.
is something to kick off so that even if you did it for 4 summers, 3 summers, 2 summers, right? From what I saw when I was watching those videos, people were making $20,000 a month, $30,000 a month, right? And they only work when the weather is warm. When the weather is cold, they don't go outside because there's no need to. There's about to be a snowstorm on Sunday. I still got to make it to the hospital. I had to pass the NCLEX. I got to worry about my nursing license getting sued, all type of shit, right? And these are like, this might not be available for everyone, but if you're young, if you're thinking about how can I get seed money, right? You might do it for 2 or 3 summers, take that money and then do something else. It doesn't mean that you have to do it for the rest of your life. So I loved that opportunity because almost anyone can do it if you know, and you can partner up with somebody. I thought that was an amazing idea, and you didn't need a lot of money. So when I talk about saving money to invest in something, I know a lot of people talk about real estate and the housing market and multiple streams of income and all these different things. I really wanted to show something that was practical, that at my age, I'd be willing to do it, but maybe not. But like maybe someone that's younger, when I tell you they make more money than me, not that I'm wealthy, but I make a 6-figure salary. They're making money out here.
Yeah.
Detailing cars. Isn't that amazing? What'd you think when you first saw it?
When I first saw it, the reason I added those graphics about the prices because I'm like, he's lying. Like these prices, you're not getting all this stuff for about $1,000, all that heavy equipment. So I went last night and researched the price for every single thing.
You checked them?
I checked every item that he put out there. I checked the price of every single thing. It was like $11.58 was the total of everything on the highest end. Like on the highest end, like when I like there was like the brush kits. He's like the brushes individually, like you can probably get a brush for like $6. But if you wanted to just get a brush kit, it was $50. So I went with the most expensive thing that I could find. Like as far as like if it was obvious, like there was a price range, I went with the most expensive. But like $1,200 is like the same thing old lady said. She said I took that $1,200 stimulus and bought the stuff. So if you're willing to put in the work, like here's the thing, like I said about myself, I'm not willing to put in the work. And again, I've shown it on this channel. I don't want to do the clipping. I don't like to do all of the labor, the 8 to 10 hour, 12-hour day that makes people successful. Some of us just don't want to do that. And that's something we have to come to understand about ourselves.
Yes.
But if you're willing to put that in, because the people I know that do detailing, they're probably charging $150 a vehicle.
Yes. And for regular vehicles, if you have a van, they charge extra for those vans. Right. And I would if I for people that have a Mercedes, it really is nothing to pay $100 to get your car detailed when you know it's not going to get scratched. The emblem ain't going to get fucked up. $100 and it's in my house. I got to worry about, $150. I would spend it.
Oh, yeah.
Because I got it to spend.
Intellectual imbecile. Hey, first time that I've noticed you, but hey, appreciate you for coming through, man. Appreciate you. That's different. I can't see that. Let me see. Is that a face I know? I don't know why that look a little familiar, but hey, listen, you're always welcome, man. Appreciate you. Thank you for coming through.
I like a man with a goatee. Did I tell you I got a thing for goatees, Charlie? Put that thing on.
Put it back. Where you want to see that? You want to see the beard again? That's what's up.
Okay, I love a goatee. I love a man with a nice. Nice to see you, Mr. Intellectual. It was so nice to see you. I'm just joking. I'm married.
Yeah. But not definitely appreciate that information because that's Mike. I thought he looked familiar. That's Mike, and that's Mimsy. Oh my God! I'm sorry. Let me calm down.
No,
like, that look
energy, man. Come on, man, don't calm down.
Now listen, we've been hoping y'all been okay. I promise y'all, man. Mike and Mimsy, we've been asking. We've been like, man, anybody seen Mike and Mimsy?
Now, yes,
Mike and Mimsy, yes,
and shit like that. I remember her,
man. But I haven't. Mike. It's been a long time. I never saw Mike bald. I saw Mike with hair, and then I saw Mike with the silencios. So much love to Mike Mimsy.
Yeah, we bringing all the goodies out. Hey,
Man,
what's
y'all,
beautiful? How you doing, babe?
y'all some faves of some people that miss y'all in the space. I know y'all probably doing y'all's family thing, but just know that people really cared about y'all, and y'all brought a lot of positive vibes. So know that y'all miss. Know that y'all miss.
Yeah, for sure.
But now there's definitely a lot of things, and that's what I had to learn. There are opportunities. Anything that you see as a challenge for yourself is an opportunity for yourself as well. Like the same things that cost you are the same things that can earn you, like in a weird way. You know what I'm saying? So like, that's what I had to learn. Somebody's been challenging me because they're trying to write a book. So I've been trying to put everybody's always talking about insights and stuff. I want to try to get some stuff into a book because it doesn't have to be expensive. But
wait, you want to write a book or you are contributing? What tell me.
They are for myself. I'm for myself because I do have a lot that I like to impart, and I've always wanted to do something so that my nephew could get like lessons, but he's not going to watch a 2-hour, 3-hour live stream. He's young. He's just not going to do it. He's just not that person. But I've always wanted some stuff that I've learned that was really important for my life, like this stuff. Like I want stuff like this in a place that's digestible. Right. But I also don't want it like every book that I've ever bought is filled with filler. There's so much filler to make it like to seem like a book that's worth it's got to be 600 pages. No, it doesn't. If you can get your stuff distilled down to 150 pages and it's useful, that's a useful 150 pages. If you can get it down to 50, if it's just one topic and it's 20 pages, get it out. Get the ebook out, make it $1, make it $2. But if it could improve somebody's life, don't try to for the sake of monetization, for the sake of maximizing profit. Like I think we put a lot of barriers. We put a lot of barriers in between information and knowledge and people for the sake of our own self. And I think that goes back to the Cat Williams, like you were talking about. Why do I gotta bend down and suck your to get this opportunity? Why do I have to go through all of these hoops to get access to your information? If you say you want to help, help. Just help. So if I did write some stuff down, I wouldn't want to charge like what everybody else charges. I want it to be accessible because the information I prefer it to be free, which is kind of why I do like this. I prefer it to be free. So for the cost of spending time with me, anything that I know you can learn, you can ask, you can pull out of me. I'll give it freely, but I don't even know what your needs are because there's a bunch of random people. Right. But what I have, I give freely. But if I'm going to take the time to compose and I'm going to organize and make things coherent, then I'd like to get compensated for the time because that's going to take extra time. This is hobby. I give hobby level effort for me. This is like everything on Critically Drinking is hobby level effort.
What? Like this is hobby level
fun effort. You? This is hobby level effort.
Damn. This allows me to understand you a little bit better because the amount of effort and I don't even want to say effort because precision that you put into this hobby, if it was to become a profession for you, now I understand why you quit all the time. When you're like, I don't want to do this. Now I have a better understanding because for me, I hit the link and I started chatting. I don't do all this preparing and all. I don't do all this stuff. I get to talking and I edit and I release it and I let it be. So now I have a better understanding of why you are like. Because if it was to become professional, you would even go further. So for your hobby level, right, that doesn't equate my professional level when it comes to this YouTube thing.
Yeah, because I'm not gifted. I'm not a gifted. Free-flowing conversationalist, like Yella, Bree, you. I've seen so many people. Kaya, brother Clarence. There are so many people. Man, shout out to Kaya. There's so many people who can just get up, turn on the camera, and talk. They can talk coherently. They can bring out interesting topics. I'm not like that. If I don't have the topics like outlined at the very least, I get lost in my own thoughts.
I understand.
So it takes so much effort from me. So it's like, but I'd rather this level because it's like it's very comfortable. I can do this, and it takes me like a few hours to like prepare for this. It takes me a few hours, but I'm comfortable with that. A hobby that you prepare a few hours for, that's great. But 10 hours for a 2-hour stream, and then post work, like 4 hours post work to cut stuff up,
Right.
and add jump cuts and L cuts and J cut. Nah, man.
Right. I hear you.
No, ain't no way.
Yeah. For
Ain't
me,
no way, boy.
I do have that, like, I'm gonna be silly, so I don't prepare as much, but I certainly admire your work ethic.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, like, I ain't bullshitting either. And when I think about Cat Williams, and he talks about, like, when he spoke about how he was on, I forgot what said, but it was the next Friday or Friday, whatever it was, and he was homeless. He was missing his teeth. I talked about my teeth.
Yep.
He was missing his teeth, and he was living in the trailer, but he was good with it because he was like, you know what? I'm here on time. And this is what it is, and he was okay with that. I talked about the sacrifices, living in my basement for 2 years, right? I resonate with that. I resonate so much with that. And so I'm glad that you mentioned I'm glad that, so, like, the funny thing is, like, even within this framework of saving money and trying to figure things out and the mental games and the backgrounds or whatever, I really want to convey to people, do what you can. Do what you can. I remember there was, you said something earlier, and I might quote you incorrectly because in general, I remember the overarching thing. I don't remember the precise words. Please forgive me for that. But I remember you were like, I just want to be comfortable. I don't need all this money. I remember at one time when I was like, God, please, I don't need to be wealthy. I just want to be able to be comfortable. Like, I just want to be able to, I don't need all the money in the world. I don't need to be wealthy. I don't need to be a big movie star or whatever it is that's wealthy. I just want to be able to live with a virgin asshole, without spreading my leg, without sucking anybody off for this rent, right? Because I know this much about myself. I know this much about myself. I just want to be able to be comfortable and to be okay and be safe. Yeah. And I realized after years that was selfish of me to think that. Yeah, right. You think, what are you talking about, Ann?
Yeah, just
I realized it's selfish of me because I only thought about myself.
Okay.
I was only concerned about me. I didn't pray or think to say, God, I'm a smart woman. Help me to be able to help my family. Help me to be able to help my mom. Help me to be able to, when my husband had a medical difficulty, help me to be able, hold me up so I can help. At the time, I was so timid and scared that I only thought, let me just be comfortable. I didn't think about anyone else. But the fact of the matter is, as small as I am, I'm quite small. I'm very small, but I'm very smart, Arshawn, and I'm very strategic. Right. One thing I will say about myself that I know is that I am a smart person and I can learn. Like, as much as I love nursing, if God forbid my nursing license was revoked for whatever, I mean, I can't see that happening because I stay on top of things. I could be an electrician. I could do a lot. Like, my brain, like, the noodle.
You're capable.
I'm capable. That's a blessing for me. I'm aware of my capacity here to learn things, right? And so anyway, I say that to say that when I was praying, I didn't recognize at the time that it was selfish of me because I thought I was being humble. I thought, like, my frame of mind was, God, I'm not asking for much. God, I just want to be okay. I don't want to suck no dick. I don't want to fuck for no money. God, please, I just want to be, that's all I want. I'm telling you, I'm being honest, right? But I didn't think, girl, you were blessed with, you're pretty smart. I have an ability to learn. I am a sponge for information, and you can help your family. God forbid something happens to your mom, you can be there for her. God forbid something happens to your husband, you can be there for him. God forbid something happens to someone that you don't even fucking know. Right? There, I don't go to church and I don't tithe. I know people are into tithing and that's fine. But one of the things that I do, and you know, in the back chat that
Craig is crazy.
I ain't saying I don't suck dick. I just don't suck random dicks. I suck my okay, whatever.
That's right. Take care of them and submit.
Submit. Yeah, I still gotta submit. But I don't tithe, but what I do is, what's up, Mr. He said? Nice to see you. Nice to see you. Nice to see you. Happy New Year, sir. Happy New Year. When I get a blessing, I try to remember. Have you ever been to Walmart or a supermarket? Whatever, I don't know what supermarkets in your area, and you see a woman or a man, who cares? How much that is? Okay, put that back. How much this? They're trying to figure out what they can pay for and what the necessity. They're at the register trying to figure out what the cost is. Like after you run everything, okay, put this back. Okay, put this back up, but let me get that back. And they're trying to figure it out. Have you ever been behind someone? Okay, when I see that and you're behind and I'm the person behind you, get all that shit. I fucking kid you not. Sir, ma'am, put it all on. I got it covered. Right? That's how I tithe. Why? Because I realized that when I prayed and I saved, right? Actions without work is dead.
Yeah.
So I prayed and I saved. So I got enough money. Because you know what, Arshawn? It don't really even be that much money, bro. It'd be like an extra $30, $40. It ain't like I'm not a Shaq going to Walmart gifting everybody with a flat screen TV. I ain't got it like that. Let's be realistic. But when I see someone in front of me that's trying to figure it out and they're like, no, put the bleach away. I'm gonna get the chicken, put the sponge and the whatever it is. I gotta get the diapers, but I'm gonna hold off on the whatever it is. I'm like, no, sir. Excuse me. I'm sorry to bother you, but you can get it all. I'll pay for the difference. You pay for your portion because I'm not trying to embarrass anybody. Yeah. Right? I still understand that there's people with integrity out here that want to pay their way. Right. So I pay for what you got to pay for, or whatever's left over, put that shit on. I got you. I've gotten hugs, I've gotten kisses, I've gotten people, black people, white men, black women, whatever the fuck, I don't care. Right. When I'm blessed, that's how I tithe. Right. Yeah. So the reason why I say that, it was a little bit selfish of me to say, God, please just help me. I realized that's just for me. Yeah. It doesn't allow me to help my mother, to help my brother, to help a stranger. So I tell people, don't just pray to God, just help me to be comfortable. I understand the humbleness in the thought, the mindset, right? I understand it, but I say, pray for all the abundance, because you know that you are a person of integrity. Because you know that you are a responsible person and that you know you're good. The way Cat Williams, back to this interview, he's bold and we don't got to agree with how he did what he did, whatever. But I've heard stories about how he's given money to people when they were down and out. Didn't say nothing, didn't come on no podcast. I gave that motherfucker $10,000 and he had no money. Ain't said nothing. It was like, listen, you just got out of jail. I understand you got kids. Here's this money. Get yourself set up. I ain't even got nothing to say about it. I wish I could be a blessing like that to someone. I ain't got that much money, but I was a blessing to my mom. You know,
I can be a blessing like that.
I ain't got it like that. But I try. To some extent, you know, I might have $50 I can send someone on the Cash App. You don't know what that money means to somebody. Like I said, Absolutely. In the grocery store, when I see someone that's trying to figure it all out, right? They really don't even want that much. The difference ain't even that much. You know, I talked to my mom about it, and I hope that other people can think about it too. If you see someone trying to figure it out, if you're able to spend a little extra $40, that should be meaning a lot to people.
Yeah,
It really,
the right
really
time.
does.
The right time.
Man. My mom told me that I told her about it because she was getting on my ass about tithing. She was telling me, you have to give to the church. God this and God that. And she was getting on me about tithing. And I told her I will not. And I explained to her like how when I see these things in the supermarket or wherever I go and people, you know, how, and so it inspired her to do the same thing. And she called me like 2 years ago and she was telling me how this woman just broke down in tears over at like, I think it was Key Food. Because my mom was like, honey, and she was like, Ann, it was only like 20 something dollars. It wasn't even that much. And she's the woman, she had me starting to cry in the supermarket. She just held on to me. And, you know, me telling my mom that inspired her to do that. And I hope it inspires other people to do that. So anyways, the reason why I even bring this up is just to say that like, you know, you don't have to be Big Willie out here. You don't got to be like granting people a whole lot of money, but you do what you can because it makes a difference to people. You know, the savings, it's not just for yourself. It's for your family. It's for your spouse. You don't know what the hell's going to happen. It's for strangers. It might be $20, $30. You know, so when you pray, don't just, I know our thinking is, God, I'm not trying to ask for too much, but pray for the responsibility to handle abundance. Okay. Don't just pray for God. Just allow me to be okay. And I ain't going to ask you for nothing else. Pray for the responsibility, the mindset that will allow you to handle abundance respectfully and responsibly. Yeah. Because that makes a difference.
I definitely respect that message because I do believe that if everything you have only serves yourself, there's a problem there. Like I feel like we're out of balance. I do completely agree with that. Only thing I would like clarify, or I you know, we use the term pushback a lot, but I would say sometimes you do need to pray for your, like, not even just pray, like the efforts you need to put forth are towards your own benefit, like you said, to your own advancement, so that you actually have the platform to reach down to pull somebody up. You know what I'm saying? So like you said, like praying for abundance, but I think a lot of times, I guess in the lower strata of society, will demonize people that elevate. Oh, who do they think they are? Oh, they think they think, but if they're not there, who's going to pull us up? Because we're all allegedly trying to get where they're going. So in a weird way, we have this kind of weird like push and pull dynamic, you know, the crabs in the barrel type thing. So you'll see somebody that's doing good, and then we'll like shame them for elevating. But at the same time, if you don't know how to get there, they're the only people that are going to be able to teach you because nobody else has. So you need to follow the path that's the closest led to you. Like the person, you need to follow the foot track, like the footprints that are freshest in the snow. You know what I'm saying? Like that's who you need to follow because that's the person that just made it out. Like, so I think there's something to what you said, and we need to learn the responsibility aspect of it because the responsibility is not for us. The responsibility is for the other people, the people that we're leaving behind as you're advancing. So I think that's why a lot of us want to believe that's why we do what we do.
Yeah.
A lot of us do try to do it for those reasons, but it's difficult to not lose yourself. Like again, bringing the Cat Williams conversation into it. So many people chose the path that was self-serving and compromised their integrity or their reputation for what they thought would benefit them in the same way I had all those unopened packages. The immediate thing that feels like a need can sometimes lead you to choices that harm you in the long run. And I think that's a lesson that a lot of us need to get figured out. And to your point about the churches, I also stopped tithing the churches because I believe, like, just like people, churches like people need to serve others.
Right.
And if you haven't gotten to that point where you're serving others, like I know Dr. Umar recently talked about it. If a church, like Black churches specifically, don't have a school or a bank or a hospital, after all these years, all they're doing are robbing people of their time, their money, and their hope. And I think people in churches are, again, similar. One's the individual, one's the collective. But we rob people of their time, their energy, their hope, their money, because all we're going to do is self-serve with it as opposed to reapplying it. Like that lady did with her stuffing business. I got blessed, and she only keeps, I think she said about $1,200 for herself every month. Yeah. Everything else goes into her business, which enriches other people and allows them to live a better life. Right. I think that's the principle that we're supposed to, like the seed, like you said, the tree. You started with the tree.
Mm-hmm.
A tree bears fruit, and each of those fruit bear seeds, and each of those seeds bear a tree, and each of those trees bear fruit, and each of those fruit bear seed. You know what I'm saying? So if it doesn't replicate like that, I think we've lost ourselves. You know what I'm saying? So
was you preaching just now?
I mean, maybe a little bit, maybe a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I got that from you. I got it off of you. It was I'll catch it in Candid Ann spirit. It came up off of you.
Listen, I'm just so passionate about it. It's just Arshawn, like I said about that tree, like how I'm just giving you a small, very simple tree, but there's so many other things that, like, you know, in life that has happened. I mainly just want people to understand this. If all you ever get out of this is, you know what, instead of watching relationship wars on YouTube, let me see what I could do. I don't care how this inspires you. What I do when I get paid, I have my regular checking account and I have a Capital One account, and I told you how I, like, a certain percent goes here and a certain percent goes here. If all you do is you go to Susie Orman and you figure out what she does, if all you do is you go to Wikipedia and you look at the message, if whatever it is that you do, if you go to Dave Ramsey, if you do the cash stuffing, whatever it is that you do, you know, I just want people to understand there's a lot of ways to do things. Get on some kind of path. And I'm not saying, like, you got to live. I'm not saying deny yourself pleasure. Right. But I can tell you that, like, I feel no guilt, even though I lost money. I feel no guilt taking care of my mom. I lost money and I don't give a fuck about that money. I don't give a fuck about that money. Right now, I might have felt guilt. I might have felt differently about it if it meant that I couldn't do it because I wasn't gonna have a place to live, because I wasn't gonna have enough money to pay my mortgage. I'm not unrealistic about that. I understand that. But because I save, I don't even know what the hell I'm saving for. Right. So so we spoke about the percentages, and there's a lot of ways to go into that. Another thing that I spoke about, you know, pleasure, saving money for my birthday. Right. I spoke about that. One of the things I also learned is, you know, I have all this saving for my roof and this and all these different responsibilities. I also save, and I don't even know what the fuck I'm saving for. I'm just saving because I don't know.
You don't know.
Right. So one of the things that I do is that I take a certain amount of money, I put it into this account, and all this money started adding up. Right. I told you about how my husband had that situation. He got extra money and blah, 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 blah. My mom, yada, yada, yada. Right. So I had this money sitting in an account, not knowing, ignorant. I didn't come from money, not knowing what to do with it. So the money is sitting in a savings account, a significant, at least to me, might not be to Donald Trump, but it was significant to me. Sitting in an account making, like, I don't even know, was it making $7, $5, $20? I don't even know what it was making. My brother, who I taught things to and surpassed me in knowledge in terms of, like, certain aspects of money, and now we feed off of each other because we grew up in the same house. I got him a checking account. He himself didn't know how to fill the check. And then he got into mortgages, and he then taught me things that I didn't know. So he told me, Ann, right now, the percentage of mortgages, I think it's a seller's market right now. I don't even know, but he told me that the mortgage prices, the percentages are high right now. So no one's buying houses because the mortgage prices
pay a
are
lot
high.
of interest. Yeah.
Yeah. So he told me, whenever that happens, I mean, I'm not buying a house. I'm trying to pay off the one that I'm living in, and I'm happy with the neighborhood that I'm at and all that. But he told me when that happens, CDs, savings, are also high. So he says, if you have money, which I had extra money because this has been years, it's been a lifestyle for me. This has been years and years. I had extra money that was sitting in an account making, I mean, I could, if I took a little time, I could calculate, I could tell you the exact amount of money, right? But Arshawn, let's pretend it was $10. Let's just pretend it was $10. All that I did, I took that money and I moved it into a 12-month CD, high yield savings account. And in 1 month, I made $480.
Oh, that's dope. Yeah.
It's been a couple of
That's them
months now.
tires. That's them tires.
Right? I ain't did shit. I ain't did shit. I'm saying it in broken English to be. I have not done anything at all. I just transferred the money that was sitting in one account and making me, I don't even know if it was $10, into a different account. And in 1 month, 30, it made me $480. Now it's been a couple of months and I've made $1,800. And in 1 year, I'll have over $5,000. I have done no work. I ain't punch a clock for that money. Right? So that's another way. So when there's steps. You saved $1,000. Maybe you do 2 summers of detailing, cash stuffing, whatever it is that you can come up with. You know, Bree's got an amazing business. She's selling her products, her Kawaii Bree business. I always like to mention that. She came up with maybe you'll do that for 2, 3, 5 years, 1 year, whatever it is. That money you flip into something else, you know, or you segue a portion here and a portion there. Right. I just want people to understand that, like, there's so many ways. I'm not on here talking about like everybody get real estate. That's the way to go. Right. It might be a way to go. I told you how I was able to do it. But, you know, part of the things I didn't tell you, someone broke into my house and stole the pipes, the copper pipes. It's nigga. Right. They don't tell you about that in Rich Dad, Poor Dad. When you're living in the hood and someone breaks into your house, they don't talk about that type of shit in Rich Dad Poor. I told you a little bit. I told you there's a lot. When I talk about the branches and the leaves, there's a lot of shit that I don't talk about, Arshawn. Right?
Oh, yeah.
So, at any rate, it's neither here nor there. The point of the matter is that I'm all right today. And I'm not saying I'm always going to be all right, but there's been many, many years. At this point in time, I'm 48 years old. I never had to sell any part of my body to make rent happen. I never had to do nothing that compromises what I want, how I want to engage. I don't have no negative sexual soul ties and all this other type of shit. Yeah. No, it ain't just white people, Greg. We in the hood. It ain't just white people.
Yeah.
Pipes,
copper pipes. That's some cash.
Cash. They stole the copper pipes. They broke into the house. Right. But I'm still all right. I'm here. I'm okay. I'm you know. So, anyways, the reason why I mentioned some of these businesses, it isn't. I don't want people to think it's so like you have to be like a movie star. You have to have like a Patreon, and you know, I saw. I don't want to say who, but y'all know who it is. Oh, I'm trying to get rid of all my money. At the end of the day, I'm trying to be broke. I'm trying to do this. I got like just be. Let's start. Let's be realistic. Right, you know what I'm talking about.
I don't. Unfortunately, thankfully I don't know, but
just a lot of people come on here and talk a lot of nonsense about like money and unrealistic things, right? Where it makes you feel like, what are they talking about? I'm really just trying to be realistic and say like, listen, let's be realistic here. You can change your life. One thing about America is that like I'm not saying that like you know, there's not going to be struggles. There's not going to be problems, right? Yep. I'm just saying that if you're willing to do the work, if you're willing to make some sacrifices, you can set yourself up to be okay.
Yeah.
And not only help yourself out, be of value to your community, to your family, your community, to your neighbor, to your mom, to your dad, to your husband. I would have never thought that I would have to do certain things. You don't think when you're 21, 22 years old, you hot and shit, and you met this man and y'all over here enjoying, you don't think about when you're 50 years old and you're going to have to be able to hold this person down and do so lovingly. All right. So there's a lot of different things that why I talk about money is not to floss. if you want to floss. I'm not, ain't nothing wrong with that either, right? I talk about enjoying some of the money, buy a CD, buy some music, enjoy yourself a little bit. But, I don't want people to like buy things, packages to be sitting down near and not use them,
Man.
So yeah, that's the reason why I bring this up, you guys. I've listened to Susie Orman. I've listened to Dave Ramsey. I've read this book, and I have spoken to the older people at my job and asked them questions about 401ks, the people that are close to retirement. I don't just shun them. Oh my God, they've been here 50 years. They've been here 40 years. Oh my God. I be wanting to know. Ask them questions, ask those older people questions about like their thoughts about, certain things. They might be able to put you on, And so yeah, that's basically I'm not sure if there's anything else that you wanted to address. I spoke about the percentages. I know the percentages that I spoke about wasn't finite, right? But the idea is to live below your means, to have a plan, to save towards some pleasure, and to save towards accountability in terms of your responsibilities and debt, just to have a plan. Right? That's basically the overarching idea. I've spoken about like how I save a certain amount of money every paycheck, right?
Mm-hmm.
Some goes towards my vacation, some goes towards like just house maintenance. You got the cash stuffing thing. I do a little thing I have here on my phone in order to save $10,000 a year. And you know what, Arshawn, you had said something to me earlier. Maybe it was in the Discord. You were like, you don't want like New Year's resolutions because it becomes overwhelming.
Yeah. I set myself up for failure.
Right?
Yeah.
So like last year, I didn't meet my goal in terms of my $10,000 because life happened, and I'm okay with that. I'm still up. But on my phone right here, you see those. So this little thing, if you've seen these things before, you've seen like these right, these little envelope systems, you can download them. I'll be happy. I downloaded one in our Discord, right? There's 52 envelopes there, right? Some of them are as low as $50. Some of them are as high as $300. Some weeks I have more money than others. There's a lot of ways to get to a destination, right? And so sometimes I ain't got that much money, so I put a little bit, but I still was able to check off, I saved some money this week. Other weeks, I might be blessed. I might do some overtime and I can put $300-400 towards it. And I was able to check off the savings. Some people are more consistent, like maybe you're your mailman and every week you can put the same exact amount. Like that works for you. Putting $200 every single week works for you. So you don't want to switch it up. It's $200 every single week. Whatever works for you, just find some way of, you don't have to save $10,000 like me every single year. It might be $1,000. That $1,000 at the end of the year will put you into a situation in which you can fucking get a business by the second year and make more money than I have ever made. Right? It might be $5,000 where $250 you fucking take a cruise that you've never taken in your entire life, and the other $250 you start that business with. Do whatever you can do. I love the new year. I love spring rather. I love spring because it feels like a renewing. I love the mornings, and I love the new year because it always feels like a rebirth for me. It always feels like, ooh, new goals. What are we thinking about? And I don't want anyone to be overwhelmed with the idea that like, oh my God, I didn't meet this goal. I didn't do this. The idea really isn't to be overwhelmed. The idea is just to work towards something. Last night, a patient's family had asked me a question and I answered it like this, and I'm going to use the same analogy, right? When you're driving from your house to a destination, right? Along the route, you might have traffic that'll slow you down. You might have a car accident yourself. You might have bad weather that slows you down. Or it might be a beautiful day and you get there and you're like, damn, I had allocated an hour and a half, but I got here in 45 minutes. There was no traffic. The day was beautiful. But either way, you got to get on that journey. Right. Yeah. I don't know the journey. You're not going to not go in the car because you're like, oh my God, there might be an accident. You're still going to get in the damn car. Right. So I don't want people to get on these financial journeys to get on this and think that there's not going to be any setbacks. There might be some traffic. There might be some congestion. There might be, you might get a ticket. You might make some mistakes. You might have a setback, but still, eventually you're going to get there, right? You might get there. You had allocated 1 hour and goddamn, there was traffic and it was a fucking accident, but you still got there. Right. So it might take you, I'm saying, oh, we'll do this in 1 year. It might take you 2. The plans do it in 6 months and it might take you a whole year, but still go on the path. You're not going to not get in your car because you're like, well, there's traffic. I just know there's going to be an accident. So I'm not going to go. Nah, you're going to go. You're going to go. So I'm asking people to just to take this to travel on this financial journey. Don't think about the issues that might happen. It might be beautiful. You might not have any issues whatsoever, but don't let congestion, a car accident, a situation derail you from the destination.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. I just want to show this real quick. This is the 10K challenge. This was like on screen real quick. This is for the $10,000. But I know if you're like me, there's no way you're saving $10,000. But when I was thinking about it, when I was looking at it, I was like, it's possible though. For each of these weeks, it is like kind of randomized. There's another one where they do like $1 the first week, $2 the next week. By the end, it's kind of like overwhelming. But with this kind of randomized pattern, you don't even have to do it in the order that it is. Like the one that you have the ability to save for, that's the one you cross off. Like however, like you got to figure this stuff out in your head. But for me, I would have to do like 10% of this. So I would just move the decimal point. So when it says 150, for that week, I would just do $15. On the next week, it says 30. Maybe I can't do that one, but the next one, it says 150. I can do that $15 again the very next week. So you have to try to figure it out whatever way your circumstances will allow. And like if maybe you don't get them all crossed off. Maybe you don't get 1,000. Maybe you get 850. Maybe you get 650. I would say just working little steps like that is definitely better than like what I did for a really long time, not doing anything. Like not doing anything just leaves you where you are. What is that? Bravo with Sheila. If nothing changes, nothing changes. So yeah, that's a big lesson.
Yeah.
The only other thing I would ask you to bring in, because something you said, I'm not a Christian, but a lot of Bible stuff is just staying in my head because I was raised Christian.
Mm-hmm.
You talked about making sure you were good first. You talked about making sure you were good. And it reminded me of the Bible verse. It's at 1 Timothy chapter 3, verse 5. For if a man know not how to rule his own house, how shall he take care of the church of God?
Ooh.
So if you can't take care of your own affairs, your own finances, it's really hard to believe that you're going to be able to be good for anybody else or for anything else. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, it's a old, long-standing principle. You have to take care of yourself first. Like you said, you have to be well enough to pour into other people. So everything that you do comes out of you. So if you're deficient, you're going to pour out deficiency. You're going to be a lot of NSFs. You're going to give a lot of people a lot of NSF fees. So everybody's going to be at a deficit because they've been dealing with you and you're operating at a deficit. So your account's overdrawn. So now their account has them fees too. So it's really important that we're kind of cognizant of the way we interact with each other, because whether we're positive or negative, we're impacting the lives of the people we interact with. Either we're taking from them or we're giving to them. There's very little neutrality.
Yes. And the thing about it too, I recently had a situation, which I'm not going to speak about. It was so stressful, but I was in my own world where I didn't recognize that I was being read wrong.
Okay.
Because I was in my own world.
Yes.
Right. And not saying that we got to walk around like cowtailing and being a puppet. I'm just saying, like how you mentioned, like, you know, when you have nothing to give. Yeah, I was depleted. I was low. I didn't have a smile. I didn't have an extra. So it was read. Why is she like that? What's her attitude about? I wasn't even thinking about you. I'm just trying to make it through. I'm literally just trying to make it through. But it still affected me negatively. And damn near could have gotten a lot of trouble over it. Right. But anyhow, so look, guys, I don't know. I feel like I wanted to have this conversation with you at the beginning of the year, and I didn't want it to be some like, everyone can be rich. This is America. Pull yourself up out the bootstraps and all this kind. Yeah, I wanted to be real. I wanted people to understand that like there's a lot of ways to like get to this thing. I don't want anyone to ever think that I'm super wealthy because I'm fucking not. Right, my roof was leaking. I have a hole in my bathroom because I'm saving up money to fix my bathroom. If I took a picture of my bathroom, you would see that like there's a hole in the tiles that I need to fix. Right, so but I'm okay with it. I'm safe. I take a shower all the time. It's covered up. Right, it's temporary until I get the whole bathroom immaculately replaced. Right. I want people to realize it doesn't take a whole lot of money. Just like that woman was able to do cash stuffing envelopes. One guy is talking about car detailing. There's so many other videos out there. I've seen videos of people doing lawn care. Right. I've seen videos of people doing snow removal. I'm not talking about manual snow removal. I'm talking about you got a Ford F-150, that big old truck. How much does it cost to put that rig on the front and just remove snow? You already got the truck.
Yeah.
Just buy the rig and remove snow. Like, I'm not talking about breaking your back and like, manual labor. If you live in an area, there's so many ways. And I'm not saying this has to be a all year round business. This might be something you do on the side. Like, I would happily take $2,000 extra a month, $3,000 extra a month, $5,000, whatever it is. So I just wanted people to be encouraged and to think about their as they're working. I mean, a lot of people make goals, fitness goals, financial goals, and things like that as it comes to the new year. So I really want to have this conversation in a realistic manner, and kind of just put it on people's radar. Like, let me see what I can do. Let me think about what I can do to, there might be a sacrifice for 1 year. Like I said, I lived with my mom for 2 years. I lived after I bought my own damn house, I still lived in the basement of my own house. I'm not telling you something that I haven't been through. Right. And so, yeah, you need at least $250 perfectly decent to plow setup. It's around $1,000. Okay, but listen, that's fine. That's great. Thank you for saying that. $1,000. You can save $1,000. So next time snow comes around, how much will you make? Like, you're definitely gonna make $1,000. All you're doing is driving. You ain't gotta break your back. You put that rig on the front of your truck. Especially you hitting these older people that can't do the shit.
Yeah.
I would pay, like, if my parents are on the island, my mom is in the island, so she ain't worried about no damn snow. But like, you tell me I would not pay easily and quickly and in a hurry money to make sure that my mom didn't fall and break a hip if she was in a cold climate. Hell yeah, I'd pay that shit fucking fast as hell. To make sure, can you get to my mom's house, please? Well, what's the cost? Yeah, $200. Sure. Make sure the driveway is cleaned out so when she gets to the mailbox, my mom doesn't fall. My mom is 80 years old. I'll spend that $200 in a fast hurry.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, all this stuff. A lot of this stuff is doable. It's some of us going to require a sacrifice. I didn't see myself being able to save up like $1,000 because I would always spend it. If I had it, I would spend it. So the first part is checking yourself.
Mentally.
Like, do you have the will? Like, Candid Ann is talking about the skill part, but the first part is like, do you have the will to check like the income and the outflow? And for a lot of us, what will means is, will I do it? Hell no. I'm going to spend it. But if you can get to the place where something's important enough, I know one of the things that I had to use a lot of times with my nephew, like if there was like a joint account or something that was in his name, I knew I wouldn't touch it. Anything that's just for me, I'm going to spend it. If it's just my money, if I feel like it's discretionary income, I'm going to spend it. But if it's not attached to something I care about more than myself in some kind of way, it's going to go. But I again, having set for money so long now, I don't feel the need to spend everything. Like, that's why I talked earlier about it's a habit, because I promise you, like some of the stuff, like the crypto from Dury, it's just sitting there. Like it's just sitting there, and I get to watch it do what it does because I don't feel like I need to take it out, and I need to spend it. Because one of the things I want more than anything right now is a PlayStation 5. I want a PlayStation. If I had a PlayStation 5, I would play video games every single day.
How much is a PlayStation 5?
$500. $500, which I could buy right now. That's what's been killing me the whole Christmas season. Every time I saw those bundles and stuff, I'm like, I could buy it. I could buy it. I could just buy it.
Can you buy it 4 times over?
I could buy it twice over. I could buy it twice.
Then
over.
you can't afford it.
I know, but I also
you can buy it and afford it.
And also need to move. So I need the money for other things, more important things. So it's that decision making. Do I get the thing that will soothe my feelings? Or do I sit on the money, sit on my feelings? But again, to everybody else, it doesn't make the rest of life easier. It just makes maybe one aspect easier. Like there's one place where I'm not deficient, as opposed to all the places are deficient. So again, like Candid Ann said, it's not a solution. It's not a miracle. It's not a cure-all. It's a tool. It's a tactic to improve. But again, it doesn't solve. It's an improvement. But the further you go, the more improvements you make. Eventually, things are better enough that you can kind of see clearly. But again, I'm not there yet. I'm at the low end of what Candid Ann is talking about, trying to make these priority decisions. Somebody else is in the middle. Somebody else has all their ducks in a row. Like when people talk about, they've got it all together. I've got nothing together. Candid Ann's got a lot together. Somebody's got it all together. I've got maybe one thing together. Like that, like the Lego. I put the first Lego on the table. Candid Ann's probably got like a nice little castle, and then somebody else probably has like a Death Star. But my one little Lego setup is
Listen,
cute.
there was a time when I was in debt and I have shit, so it got to start somewhere.
We all got to start somewhere.
Got to start somewhere. Yeah. So yeah, that was about it. And listen, thank you so much for I know you quit. You don't want to do this too often and stuff like that. Man, I'm really thankful that I was able to come out here, and this is something that I'm passionate about, not just for myself, because like I said, I'm gonna be all right. Like I'm gonna be okay. But I really wanted people to kind of is inspiration the word, or to put it on their radar, or to think about it, or whatever they can get out of it, to just as we talk about goals for the new year and people thinking about weight loss goals, and I wanted financial goals to be on there, and like I said, there's more than one way to get to a destination. Whether you choose Susie Orman and you listen to those videos, you choose Dave Ramsey, you do the cash stuffing, you do this book, whatever it is, you listen to the elders at your job and ask them questions about like what they do. You figure it out, but you just get on something, make a plan. The whole, no matter what you choose, the idea really is to live on less than what you make, have somewhat of a budget. And if you know that you want to go out and spend time for your birthday, allocate money throughout the year for that. If you know that you want to have a business, like save up the money and you don't know what you're doing for it, please do that, because it doesn't take tens of thousands of dollars to start a business. I'm not saying you have to have multiple streams of income, but if you're young and you can, for 2 summers, do that detailing, can you imagine if you came out with like $50,000 in 2 summers and you're 18 years old? Right? You can use that money to do something else with. So yeah, thank you so much for allowing me to come on here and to talk about that. It was just something that, like, when my mom got sick over the summer, I always want to talk about this kind of thing, from the time I lost that tooth and other things in my life that have happened. But my mom being ill and hey, Mitch,
that's my nephew. He said overkill. I got an F word to use for the title. What's the F word? What's the F word?
So yeah, that my mom being sick over the summer, it made me like, man, that was another like poking me to like kind of talk about it in terms like, this is another situation in which having a little bit of money made a difference, because you're able to be there for your mom. It was just kind of like nudging me. So yeah, thank you, Quantum. Thank you, Mitch. Thank you, nephew. Take care. And all the other people that have tuned in. I know this is not I don't know, when people, all the salacious shit, all the, the Cat Williams and the salacious shit that gets a lot of views. I know that these financial talks and being responsible doesn't get a lot of views, but for whomever's watching, whoever it inspires, I thank you guys for tuning in. And I hope that you make a change. And listen, I'm always open. If there's something you guys want to share, I know that someone talked about the truck. If you already have a truck, buying the rig is not that big a deal. I'm not telling you to go out there and buy a truck. I'm just saying that, like, think, just go ahead and think about what can you leverage that you already have. You talked about you had all these fire sticks, so you programmed them already. You already had them. So why not program them and make money? If you already got a Ford F-150, buy a fucking rig, make some money. I'm not saying, to go out there and buy a $40,000 truck. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the first steps to getting to the other stuff.
Yeah, it's again, that's another biblical principle, because I love biblical principles, even though, again, but they talk about bearing your talent.
Jesus.
There's a bearing your talent, because what we're talking about is bearing your talent. So like you have something that could be used to earn money, and you don't use it. So there were 3 servants. Each one was given a talent, or a coin. Each one was given money. One of them just hid it. One of them hid it. The other 2 earned money, so they were rewarded. But the one that just hid it, they didn't use it. Like, again, I've got my fire sticks in the drawer. I'm burying my talent. I could program fire sticks, but I'm being lazy. I'm burying it. I'm showing a talent here, but again, there's still some burial of what I could do, because I'm not like what Kwai Bree says. Her highest definition of I want to say what it is about being a Christian is realizing the potential that God gave you. So a lot of us have potential that we're not tapping into. So like whatever God or source or universe or whatever, if you're not realizing your potential, if you're not maximizing what you're doing, you're going against what God intended. God intended he gave you some talents, like metaphorically and literally. Like there's some earning potential that you have just by virtue of being you. You're ambulatory. You can pick up stuff and move it. But you're also given some innate talents. Like you have a golden voice. You have a perspective. Somebody like Mandrill and his ability to
I blew up my motherfucking head over this voice. Y'all got my mind gassed over this voice, but I don't give a shit.
But it's great to have a voice in 2 ways. You have a voice, like the tonality is attractive to people, but you also have something to say behind it. There are people that have just a voice that's like good to hear, but they have nothing useful to say. So again, so you have the literal and the metaphoric voice, and that's useful, and not using that. Yeah, absolutely. But it's good to have those talents, and it's good to use them for something that benefits somebody else other than yourself, which is what you've done today. Start where you are and what you have in your hands. So like, this was so awesome. Pray it inspires everyone. Facts. He was afraid, and that which he feared, he got when his owner came back to check on his progress. Don't bury your talent, dude. And that's what a lot of us do. We get crippled due to fear. We think it's going to be too hard. It's going to be too much, but
scared. God just help me to be okay. I ain't gonna ask for too much. You gave me this money, and I'm going to save it. I'm gonna respect it, but you can't be a blessing to others.
Yeah, it's hard, and that's something I struggle with, because it's like, will people reject me? Will people accept me? Will I use will it be the labor be in vain? There's all these things that you allow to stop you. But again, I'm not preaching. I struggle with this. I struggle to put stuff out and wonder how it will be received and how people will take it. I know Candid Ann might have been a little like with the financial thing. People like, oh, listen to the financial thing, but y'all showed up and y'all participated. So I really appreciate y'all, because sometimes we get so discouraged because people don't show up. And how will people receive it? So again, all of this stuff is connected. All of this stuff matters. Seeing Mike and Mimsy pop back up, seeing who was the person? Bernard Shaw, was it? Bernard Shaw?
That's my big. Listen, let me tell you. Side notes. I'm trying not to swear because I'm trying to be a better person, but I'm gonna swear. As negative, I know a lot of people look when it comes to the manosphere and how we've met each other on certain platforms, how I happen to see you on Yellow or whatever. I've had positive things with my interactions on YouTube. There's been some bullshit, right? But there's some people that I look up to that have helped me, that are friends to me. And Bernard is someone that like literally is like a big brother to me. Right? B9 is like a big brother to me.
Yeah.
Manjel and I are cool, right? He be doing his own thing or whatever, but we're still
Yeah, you
mad
doing a
cool. We're
lot.
still mad cool. There's other people. I'm not, there's Dusto. We're mad cool.
That's what's up.
But separating Manjel and Dusto, Bernard and B9, Bernard and B9, brothers.
Yeah.
Brothers.
Yeah.
Like, so and they teach me things. I'll come on here and share what I know and what I have or whatever, but they help me to figure out. So I know in the Discord I be going hard on the men's. I be going
Don't
hard.
even get me started. I don't care what these niggas gotta say. I don't care what y'all niggas gotta say. Bree, I really don't even care. I don't even hear what men say.
Men. Those are
honorable
men. Like, I don't focus with these lowbrow, foolish ass people. These are honorable people that I seek advice and counsel from. All right, so yeah. Anyway, side note there's a couple of people that like I don't talk about a whole lot or whatever, but yeah, I'll fuck with you niggas.
Yeah, all the time.
I really don't.
Brie will say something about it. What some of the dudes said. I don't care what no niggas said. But then when I challenged her, she said, "No, I ain't say men. I said niggas."
There's a whole heap of different.
Now, so shout out real quick because I'm glad we did this stream too because again, it brought my nephew out. And it brought my little sister out. You know what I'm saying? People popping up. My little sister.
Guys.
And my nephew's over here. So that's nephew. That's his mom. That's his mom. Yeah, so family popping up, man. Appreciate y'all. Appreciate y'all for coming.
Having me, Arshawn. I know you quit, and you don't like doing these all the time. But I appreciate you for allowing me to come on here and I could have done this on my own channel and just talk, but I really want to talk to someone that was going to challenge me and that was going to bring up, because I want this to be a conversation, not just you guys do this and you're supposed to do that. I really wanted to talk to someone that I felt like was going to be authentic and real,
Yeah.
So thank you for allowing me to come on here and chop it up with you and talk about like finances, Yeah.
Oh, definitely. And I definitely appreciate you. I do want to, while we're wrapping up, I want to give a shout out to because we lost a sponsor. So I'm not going to run the ad for vocabulary today. I'm not going to run the ad for vocabulary today because we lost that sponsor. 2023, they ended their sponsorship of us, so you're not going to hear the famous words. But I did get a cash app from somebody who wanted to support the channel. So I'm gonna let Umar talk to y'all, and then I have a special message from our new sponsor.
The Prince of Pan-Africanism is back, showing love to all my donors and supporters. We've been at it for 2 hours and we still got donations to go through.
I'll take that.
See, I get love. Y'all focus on the hate, I focus on the love.
Is that a lot? That's a lot.
I got another donation. Donations.
Wow, that's a lot.
Gifts. More gifts.
Wow, thanks.
Man, so shout out one more time to Greg Bryant, because I want to acknowledge the people who go like an extra step, going the extra mile. Like, cause this stuff means a lot. Like, you talked earlier, like somebody just picking up a $40, like you're behind them in the grocery store and you pay that $40 for them. That stuff means a lot. So Greg, even though he is extremely against cash donations like Cash App, Venmo, he doesn't believe it's secure. He went ahead just so he could support this channel, signed up for something he does not believe in, and is nervous every time he uses it.
Holy shit.
To send Cash App. So man, shout out to you, Greg
Holy
Bryant.
shit.
Absolutely.
Thank
so
you.
the new sponsor is Bryant Brand Mayonnaise. I want everybody to know out there to please put mayonnaise on everything that you eat. It is the greatest condiment. I myself love mayonnaise. I eat it on everything, and sometimes I eat mayonnaise by itself just for the taste, as long as it's Bryant Brand mayonnaise. So thank you, Greg Bryant.
Wow,
I appreciate
thank
you.
Much love
Definitely.
and appreciation for that. Thank you. Is water wet? Yes or something. Okay.
Okay. Stan, no, I appreciate it. And I also want to again to that end, I also want to shout out to Dury, because again, he took the time to help us, me and he took the time to set up me and me. Oh, you were okay. So then my sister had sent cash out before too. I didn't know she was nervous about setting up cash payments. I know her, so I know she was using Cash App for quite some time. But if she wants some, thank you for sending the donations to the channel.
Yes,
my dear sister, appreciate you. Since you were also nervous to set up a cash thing because it could be used as a scam. I appreciate that, because I know you were so scared to use Cash App. Thank you. But I wanted to shout out Dury too, because he took the time to help us set up like digital wallets to use for crypto and all that stuff. So Dury took some time off, showed me and Yella how to set this stuff up. So we can use like digital wallets, get like the Bitcoin, Ethereum, and all that blockchain stuff. So I'm not like well versed in it, but it's set up, and I have some basic interfaces and stuff sitting there thanks to his generous donation. So again, man, thank y'all.
That's
the
dope.
People that support the channel, not just support the channel, but especially I'm giving a special shout out to the people that seem to go the extra mile, because they really appreciate what we do. And so I really appreciate y'all too. I want to get a love back for sure. Let me see. Yeah, okay. He said anybody didn't wants help setting up their first crypto wallet. Hey, he said he's down, so shout him out. But yeah, I really enjoyed the conversation. I do think we made it relatable. I think we made it relatable and realistic for anybody at any level to be able to see something useful in it.
Yeah, so I hope so. I hope so, guys. I'm just a nurse. I have a regular night. I got to clock in, but I am in Connecticut in the suburbs, sitting on over 3 acres of land. I'm okay. I'm not wealthy. But I'm all right. If I, God forbid, lost my job, I don't have to work for a couple of years, and I'll still be okay. Right? I'll still be okay. Now, listen, if I really, really, really need the money, if I got like injured and I need, because healthcare can take you out quickly, right? But I'm just saying that, like, I do the best that you can. Do the best that you can, and be a blessing to others. Because, listen, I said, oh, I got a Benz. I didn't earn that. That was given to me. Yeah. Right. That was given to me. I have a Honda Civic 2016. It has over 150,000 miles on that thing. Right. It was given to me. That Benz was given to me, but it was given to me because I have shown responsibility. I can take care of the maintenance, and I've been blessed. It comes back to you. It comes back to you. So thank you guys for having me, y'all. I feel so happy that you got some cash. That's random money. Thank you guys for having me. I'll see you guys if, I get a little insecure because I'm like, I'm old. Who wants to listen to me? But I thank you guys for welcoming me. Thank you guys for welcoming me. I really, really do.
Always. And just real quick, just to close out. Last thing I would say, Candid Ann, there was a guy I was listening to. That's your brother, your big bro.
That is my brother. Like, yo, you can't tell me shit.
Facts.
Yeah.
Big. Because you mentioned B9. Excuse me. I want to get B9 back on too, but I know he's dealing with family stuff, and he said I want to reach out to him now that's after the first year, because I want to have another conversation with just B9. You know what I'm saying? I want to just get just B9 and not about necessarily a topic. I just want to unpack some of his wisdom. Like you said, sitting at the feet of people who have some knowledge and some experience. I really think we need to spend more time pulling stuff out of people. Like this is like your experience and your expertise. Like this is what you had to live and you've learned, and it's beneficial, as opposed to us talking about like a lot of the hot topics and stuff. Like we can have insights about somebody else's. There's so much more to gain from what you've actually. So I really like that. Something I heard the other day, and the guy said you have to pay for luck, and that's what a lot of this what you're saying. It has reminded me.
Pay for luck.
You have to pay for luck.
What does that mean?
Like in sports, they used to say like luck is when preparation meets
Okay. Yes.
So all the things you're talking about is the payment, the preparation.
Yes.
I am paying myself. I'm saving. I'm investing. I'm sacrificing. That's the payment. So when the opportunity arises, well, how did Candid Ann just get a new roof like that? Oh, she's so lucky. I wish I was lucky like that. No, you paid for the luck that somebody else is perceiving.
Yes.
Like I think what a lot of us have to understand, though, a lot of times we see somebody as lucky, but they've paid for that in some kind of way, and everybody doesn't have the same. Everybody doesn't have the same cost. Everybody doesn't start at the same starting line. Everybody doesn't have as many hurdles, but everybody has to pay for their own luck.
Yes.
It might be expensive, more expensive for you than the next person, but you still got to pay for your luck when your opportunity comes. So I think this conversation tapped into that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But next stream though, y'all, before we close out next stream, on the 15th, I was requested to do something on MLK Day. So because I'm weird, I'm taking the MLK thing, because y'all might have seen the thumbnail. And it's got the Baldwin quote about walking into a burning house. I'm going to take that and apply it to something Candid Ann has kind of espoused today about doing for other people. Okay. So it's going to kind of the theme is going to really be about doing for others, and but it's going to be MLK based. That's on the 15th, and on the 19th, I got to confirm Rico and Greg are going to be over here. Greg Bryant said he's going to show some face. It might not. I can't say what the face is going to look like, but Greg said he's going to be over here. It's going to be on the 19th. I confirmed with Rico, but I didn't get back with Greg yet, but I'm getting back with Greg now. January the 19th. So that week, the 15th and the 19th are my next scheduled streams.
Awesome.
Now, that's what's scheduled. I may do one in between. I don't know if I'll do it for Twitch or for here, but there's something that I saw. Candid Ann kind of touched on it about the men thing, because the men, the devaluation of men. Men don't have any value. Plants and animals. I'll take anything over a man. Like, that is just
what.
It's just irking me a little bit.
It's
but
a certain type of a man. But listen, we can have a whole other show. We could end this shit and start a new stream tomorrow, because I'm off tomorrow. We could talk about that, because I will get on a man's ass about the bullshit. But I'm married. I've had I don't have any negative soul ties.
That's what's up.
I can tell you, I've had positive relationships. I got a lot of, I tell you, Bernard is my brother. I got a lot of positive things to say about Black men. 100 watts, love that smile. But I will get on you niggas. don't get it fucked up. But I'm not talking, I feel like I'm not talking about the same demographics of people that you guys kind of think that I'm talking about. I'm talking about a certain characteristic, right? And the same thing with women.
Yeah.
The same thing with women also. But I do think that men have value. I just think that that's a whole different thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Will. I love
and Will. Yeah. I'm definitely going to touch on that on the King stream, because I actually want to talk about that's going to be part of like the doing for others. Is us not lumping everybody into these.
Yeah.
Because there's something that we do, and I'll just touch because I know a lot of y'all I may not see on the 15th. I may not see y'all on the 15th. So a lot of times it's kind of unfair. And I don't mean unfair like, oh, life's unfair. I don't mean like that. Because there's something that we do where we will say like, Black women, Black men, white people, white supremacy. We'll throw all these generalizations out. But then the moment the generalization comes back, we're like, well, not all Black men. Well, then we want to go to individual. You can't speak for me. Well, no. It's not okay when everything's positive that you get to take it all in for yourself. I did that myself. But then when something lands negatively, that's the group. And I get to separate myself. So this is this concept I heard, like social privatized gains. Like the gains are mine. Right. Socialized losses. So the losses are them. So I want to incorporate that on Monday the 15th, because I think that's part of our problem. Yeah, so we want to take all the wins are ours, but then all the problems, that's not me, that's them. That's them niggas. I'm a good man. I'm a good man. It's them niggas that hurt you. Why are you mad at us, men, when them niggas hurt? So either we gotta take the heat as a collective, or it's all individual. Either there is no Black men, there is no Black, because it's not okay.
Why?
Because that's harmful.
Why?
It's harmful.
Harmful to who? We'll
it's
talk
harmful
about
to the
it.
group.
Stay tuned.
Exactly. Yeah, it's harmful to the group. Talib said, I will listen. So that's what I want to hit on Monday a little bit. Men can't find the clitoris. Yeah, because women suck at giving directions. You know where it is, but can't tell me how to get there. That's my problem.
Don't get moved. Oh, he's provoking me.
He is.
Provoking me.
And so
that's why I don't want to put the nursing thing on here, because I've been wanting to talk and I've been wanting to say some things, but you guys are provoking me. But all right.
Yeah, that's what's all right. But no, I really appreciate y'all. So again, the 15th and the 19th, I'll be back for sure. Anything else is extra. Maybe here tomorrow, because Candid Ann said she got the day off. So we might get into a nice little healthy debate tomorrow about, some men and women stuff, little gender stuff. We might get into that. Just let them watch the live tutorial while you show them. Yeah, I know as Mimsy said, I can help people, but I can't do it. And that's another thing, teaching people how to fish, but not fishing for them. That's another principle.
Yes.
That's another principle. So I'm going to head up out of here. I definitely appreciate all y'all for coming, but I'm out. Oh, wait.
Guys.
I quit.
God bless the food, goddammit. God bless the food. Now, I'm going to tell y'all something. I'm going to end this goddamn thing. Look, where's that goddamn money bowl at? Who got that money bowl? We taking that money right now before you leave this bitch. We ain't leaving out here for free, motherfucker. Where that money bowl at? Don't have me to fire this bitch off now. Where that money bowl at? Don't you? Look, don't make me shoot it. All right. Officer Tuckerson already a dead motherfucker. I don't mind shooting another motherfucker. Oh.
I'ma head out. Okay? Good luck, ladies.
Thank you everyone for critically drinking. We are so grateful for your continued support and viewership, and we know we wouldn't be here without you, so we really appreciate you choosing to spend your time with your favorite dime. We hope that you're enjoying the show, and we promise to keep bringing you refreshing conversations week after week. Thanks again for watching, and we look forward to seeing you next time.
You retain an advantage by staying liquid.
Yeah, now, you asked me how I felt. Imagine a used dish rag in your head. Picture it. Now imagine feeling like that.